where the concentration comes in. You know, I mean, like, I remember it took me a long time to understand it. Barry probably understood it a long time ago, where Roy Campanella told me you only need one swing per at bat. You only hit one ball at a time. You don't need 3 strikes. And I was like, man, I need 5 sometimes. And so, you know, the thing with Barry is, you know, like sometimes he might only get 2 or 3 swings a night. But most of the time, like I said, his concentration level is such where he's not going to be lulled to sleep. You know, a lot of times they pitch around you, Joe, they lull you to sleep, and all of a sudden they sneak one in on you. Well, it's almost impossible to sneak that one by him.
You got Barry on that side, you got Sammy on this side, and the years he's having, I mean, you're talking about 240 some odd home runs in 4 years. I mean, that's also impressive.
Well, that's very impressive. A lot of home runs. And the fact is they both play, and they both play a lot. And I tell you, Sammy looks like he's getting better too. You know, I mean, I think he's, what, 2 or 3 years younger than Barry, or three or 4 years younger than Barry. So imagine where they're both going. And I'm sure Barry's conscious of that too at some point in time, and Sammy's looking forward to Barry. So I think it's going to be a heck of a night and a heck of a series between us and the Cubs.
And something to keep in mind as well at this stage in their lives, Sammy Sosa is 100 home runs ahead of the pace being set by Barry Bonds. Willie Mays Plaza outside the Pac Bell Ballpark here in downtown San Francisco. When we come back, we'll introduce you to the young man pitching for the Cubs tonight. Steve Smyth makes his debut right after this.
I'm Phoebe Buffet, and I have babies coming out of me.
The big day is finally here.
Yes! How does he look? How does he look? So gross!
Next, Friends. Tomorrow night at 6 on WGN.
Next, Everybody Loves Raymond.
Coming! What do you want? What are you doing?
I said come in.
I said coming!
On the next, Everybody Loves Raymond.
Tomorrow night at 6:30 on WGN.
Cadillac. Breakthrough. Join the Cadillac Summer Jam for this attractive offer.
In a valley, near a river, there's a place called Perfect. In Perfect, there's time to smell the roses. People don't mix plaids and stripes. There's always cough syrup, even at 3 a.m. And socks never get lost in the dryer. Of course, we don't live anywhere near perfect, so we have Walgreens, open every day, many 24 hours, where we can get what's needed for the real world. That's life. This is Walgreens.
Cubs have a rookie-laden starting rotation with the addition of Steve Smyth tonight. The young left-hander getting the summons from AAA Iowa, and left-handed starters out of the Cubs farm system have been very few and far between. In fact, since 1988, only one homegrown left-hander has won a game in the major leagues for the Cubs. That was Scott Downs in the year 2000. Smyth has very impressive minor league credentials, coming off some shoulder surgery from last August. And we asked his minor league manager, Dave Bialis, the current Cub third base coach, what we can expect from young Steve Smyth tonight.
Steve is a control-type pitcher. You know, he has good sink on his fastball. His fastball runs. He's a control-type pitcher. He's not overpowering. He keeps the ball in, can throw the ball in, keeps the ball down real good, uses both sides of the plate, has a plus slider and a good changeup. Also throws a curveball. So he's going to throw everything at him. He uses his whole arsenal to go after these guys, and really I think the way he's going to pitch Bonds is you know, he's going to have to mix different pitches up with him. You can't go at him one certain way. You know, you can do some things inside and away and off speed, but you can't go after him the same way like any pitcher would do. But Steve's a real competitor. You know, he's going to be out there. He's going to be pumped up. I know he is, and I think he's going to do a fine job for us.
And the Cubs are hoping that Steve Smyth will turn in a fine performance tonight, for they think he has a chance to be a member of this starting rotation, perhaps as early as the 2003 season. Ryan Jensen will pitch for the San Francisco Giants in Game 1 of a big weekend series. We're glad you're here for it. It's the Cubs and Giants coming up next from Pac Bell Park.
The Leadoff Man was brought to you by Chevy. The cars you can depend on, the cars that last. We'll be there.
Join the Cadillac Summer Jam for this attractive offer.
Here's to the people in the neighborhood. Here's to our heroes doing so much good.
McDonald's presents the All-American Summer. Hot off our new tastes menu is the juicy Big Grilled Hot Dog, served with all the trimmings on a toasted bun. Try one today because, like summer, it won't be around long.
Here's to the good old USA. And here's to the American way.
Hey, baseball fans, here's your chance to win $100,000 in a Wrigley Field Skybox party at the Cubs-Arizona game. Be the ultimate bleacher bum with the Illinois Lottery and the Chicago Cubs. Send in $5 worth of your non-winning Illinois Lottery tickets between now and August 6th. You could win one of 9 weekly $10,000 prizes or the grand prize $100,000 and a Wrigley Field Skybox party. Be the ultimate bleacher bum with the Illinois Lottery. For details, see your Illinois Lottery retailer.
Trying to get the best seats to the hottest Cubs games this summer? Call 866-272-6614 or visit www.cubs.com and click on the Season Ticket Holder Exchange. That's right, you can still get a seat to the hottest of games. Call 866-272-6614 or check out the Season Ticket Holder Exchange at cubs.com.
I don't have a problem with the pattern draw. I just appreciate a little heads up, you know? What's the problem? Sure.
The following is a presentation of WGN Sports.
As the Cubs and Giants gather at beautiful Pac Bell Park in San Francisco, the magic number on everyone's lips is 598. That's Barry Bonds' home run total. He tries to become the 4th man in baseball history with 600 home runs or more. But for young left-hander Steve Smyth, his magic number is 1. His major league debut comes in a very hostile environment tonight as the Cubs and Giants hook up tonight on WGN Sports. And hi again, everybody, with former Giant Joe Carter, Chip Carey at Pacific Bell Park, where there's a real buzz in the air. Will this be the 3-game set that Barry Bonds gets to number 600?
Chip, this is a phenomenal feat. Only 3 guys in the history of the game with 600 home runs, and Barry on the cusp of being number 4. And what a career this young man has had.
Why is he so successful against kids seeing him for the first time?
Chip, the thing is, Barry has a philosophy. He says, I don't worry about the pitchers. I let the pitchers worry about me. So the pitchers are more afraid of Barry than he is of them because they're saying, hey, I'm pitching to Barry Bonds. What am I going to do? Barry doesn't worry about that.
And he's not afraid to take a base on balls either. Bonds has walked 122 times. His on-base percentage is over 560 this year. And the Cubs will try to keep him in the ballpark starting tonight. Steve Smyth, Ryan Jensen hook up in Game 1 next.
Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Bud Light. For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light. Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge. The Illinois Lottery, where players have more fun. Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi. And by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares.
Hey, Cubs fans, keep your eye on the ball. Every time a Cubs player hits a homer at Wrigley, you could be a winner. It's the Southwest Airlines How Far Did It Fly home run contest. After every Cub homer, write down the distance, along with your name and address, and send it to WGN TV. 10 winners will receive 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination. For every Cubs homer, ask yourself, how far did it fly? From Southwest Airlines, official airline of the Chicago Cubs.
Guys, listen up for a second. To my man T. On his last night of freedom. Guys, who could that be, huh?
We received some noise complaints.
Well, hello, officer.
All right, guys. We can either do this the easy way or the hard way.
The hard way!
We're gonna need the paddy wagon.
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
Hello?
If you like to play, go where the action is. The Dodge Summer Clearance Event, where you'll find the versatile Dodge Caravan with available power sliding doors and a power rear hatch. And Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty. Ford, Chevy, Honda, or Toyota don't match it. Plus, get a generous $3,000 cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months on Caravan. America's best-selling minivan. Now playing at the Dodge Summer Clearance Event.
You have one in aquamarine?
Whether you're new to the family or were there from the beginning, this is the year to watch. Don't miss the biggest premiere of the season, The Sopranos, only on HBO. Catch it when you order any AT&T digital value package, and you'll get HBO with groundbreaking originals, Cinemax with exclusive hit movie premieres, plus local channels, sports, and news. Get this great offer on any AT&T digital value package. Plus, with HBO, get Cinemax free through 2002.
We're back at Pac Bell, and we're underway as Mark Bellhorn takes a strike from young right-hander Ryan Jensen as the Cubs and Giants begin a 3-game series here in San Francisco. An absolutely gorgeous night. Temperatures will be in the upper 50s by the end of this ball game. Gentle breeze blowing from the right field corner to the left, and virtually every seat, every vacant space in this ballpark is occupied as Barry Bonds chases history with 598 lifetime home runs coming into play tonight.
Chip, wasn't it just last year that he was just going for number 500?
It's amazing, isn't it?
And now, you know, we're talking about maybe 120 games later, he's looking at number 600. And what a tremendous career this young man has had.
2 balls and a strike to Bellhorn, and that's popped back out of play toward us. And the count evens at 2-2. So a young man that's really grown into the leadoff spot for the Cubs. Bellhorn with 18 home runs. That ties a 65-year-old franchise record for the Cubs. Augie Galan in 1937 also had 18 home runs as a switch-hitting Cub performer. And Jensen misses by an eyelash over the outside corner. He's trying to win his 11th game of the season. This rookie right-hander has done a very good job for Dusty Baker this year.
He has, Chip. He was the first Giant pitcher to have 10 wins this season, but so far he's been stalled on getting win number 11 his last 2 starts, so he's looking to have the 3rd time as a charm.
Benito Santiago took a foul ball off the right hand, and Bellhorn will stay alive. Jensen has allowed 17 home runs, and one reason why he's been a winning pitcher this year for the Giants is among all their starters, he gets the most run support of any of that 5-some. They give him more than 4 runs per game. This will be the 4th crack for him at victory number 11 on the season. And Jensen, 77 strikeouts, 42 walks, and 122 and 1/3 innings worth of work this year. 8th round pick in 1996 out of Salt Lake City, Utah. So a pair of rookies hooking up here at Pac Bell on a gorgeous Tuesday night.
Yeah, and the rookies are facing Barry Bonds and Sammy Sosa.
An unenviable task. Down swinging goes Bellhorn. 1 up, 1 down. A look at the rest of the Cubs Pepsi starting lineup for skipper Bruce Kim. Bellhorn leads off, followed by former Giant Bill Miller. Sammy Sosa hits 3rd in right. Fred McGriff tied with Billy Williams on the all-time RBI list with 1,475. Moises Alou is in left. Corey Patterson center. Todd Hundley behind the plate. Alex Gonzalez at short, and Steve Smyth will bat in the number 9 spot.
And you know, Bill Miller is very excited about coming back to Pac Bell Park. And his home just across the bay there, and Candlestick and 3Com Park. And now coming back home, you know he wants to do very well here. What a picturesque, very beautiful after evening here in San Francisco.
They did this place right. And a lot of the nuances remind you of Wrigley Field. The red brick walls all over the place, the green seating.
Yes. I like the standing room only out there over the right field wall. It's kind of a look out looking over the Bay Area. Beautiful atmosphere, the knothole games, and I mean a little bit of everything in this ballpark.
That's the part I like the best. Folks can walk down the street and peer in for an inning or so, and they don't have to pay a dime. A base hit to left in front of Barry Bonds, who again is playing with that sore right hamstring. Bonds right now is a defensive liability. Reggie Sanders also in right field, also with some leg problems. So you hit a ball in the gap, Offensively, the Cubs should be in pretty good shape in this ball game and this series.
And with Bonds man in left field out there, he has a tear of his hamstring, so he's not going to, once he hits a few times, he will come out of the game for a defensive replacement, but it's not because of his defensive has been a liability. It's because of the hamstring, but I like what I'm seeing because he's playing when he's hurt. When this team is a half game out of the wild card position right now, 7.5 back behind the D-backs, they need Barry Bonds.
Here's Sammy Sosa. 33 homers and 70 batted in. And a quick strike, says Jay Clem, our home plate umpire. Sammy not too sure about that call.
Yeah, Sammy has some words with home plate umpire because that was kind of a late call. There you see the leader, Sammy, with 33, being chased by Lance Berkman and also Mr. Bonds.
Miller at first has yet to attempt a stolen base. And Sosa swings and belts that to center field and pretty deep. Kenny Lofton going back, though. He's got wind. And on the warning track, Sosa's retired for out number 2. He hit it right on the button, though. That's a good sign. 2 out.
And the one thing, one of the biggest parts of this field is the dimensions in center field. Straightaway center field is only $3.99, but if you get more towards left center field, it's $4.04. And then the right center field corner is $4.21. That's what they call Death Valley here. Sammy Sosa hitting off the end of the bat. You see him, he thought about hopping, but he knows that really until it gets a little bit later in the nighttime with the ball carry. Right now it doesn't carry too well.
Well, here's Fred McGriff. Let's see if he can christen Pacific Bell Park. This is one of just 3 ballparks he has yet to hit a home run in. If you name the other 2, Joe, I'll buy a box of garlic fries.
The other 2 he has not hit a home run in.
Yes, besides Pac Bell Park. They're both in the National League.
Okay, that narrows it down. Coors Field?
Nope. They're both new ballparks.
Oh, the brand new ballparks. So that would lead.
One is in our division, one is in the Giants division. I'm not helping you.
Yeah, you got Pittsburgh, of course.
There's one of them,
Park.
right?
And the other division, that would be in the West. And that's against guys like Schilling and Johnson.
You got it.
The D-backs.
Fries with extra garlic for Mr. Carter, please. 2 strikes to McGriff. Ellis Burks the other day.
41.
Cracked one out in Seattle. He's hit a home run in 40 different parks. That's tops among all players. Ryan Miner at the first base bag takes care of McGriff. And the Cubs in the first. Rookie Steve Smyth takes them out as a major leaguer for the first time to face the Giants next.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
We can't take him to the coast with us. You mind?
The coast, huh?
Yeah.
This is where we're going to be. There's his acupuncturist.
Hey, I've never taken care of a weasel before.
It's a ferret.
If you guys have to do duties, just let me know. Have a great time. See ya.
Why wait? You can fly Southwest Airlines from Chicago Midway to select cities in the Midwest for just $34 when you purchase by August 19th. So get packing.
Hey, you are now free to move about the country.
I think do-it-yourself is very much an attitude. It's just such an American tradition. The sense of satisfaction at the end of having done it at home, done it ourselves. That's something that's wonderful and it's very American. The biggest challenge for any do-it-yourselfer is having the right tools.
1,800 Craftsman hand tools, all made in America, guaranteed forever.
I always think that good tools are the key to a job well done.
The 255 horsepower Nissan Maxima.
Steve Smyth takes them out against this San Francisco Giants starting lineup. Kenny Lofton 6 for 23 since coming over from the White Sox in a trade. Rich Aurelia bats second at short. Jeff Kent red hot in the number 3 spot. Barry Bonds 4th. And look at those numbers here at home. Former Campanito Santiago an all-star this year. Reggie Sanders is in right. Damon Miner is at first base. JT Snow not getting much playing time with this rookie's emergence. Bell's at third base. Jensen's on the mound. And here's Steve Smyth, 4th-round pick of the Cubs after 1999. He played collegiately at the University of Southern California. And he's the first Cubs starter from the left side since September 28th of 2000, when Joey Nation towed the slab in a Cub uniform.
Yeah, that's been a wild, Chip. You know, he's got his heartbeat is right now is racing probably about 1,000 beats per second, and then having to face what he said some of his idols that he grew up watching in Barry Bonds and
Sure.
Jeff Kent, JT Snow, those guys. So having to pitch against those guys, and it's good for once to see the Cubs throwing a rookie out there and letting the other opposition have the first time they're facing someone, because it's happened a lot for the Cubs this year where they have been dominated by a guy they had never faced before.
Well, here's Kenny Lofton. Lofton made a very impressive debut, you'll recall, for the Giants. He hit a home run in his first game in the Giants' leadoff spot, and they've really needed this guy to solidify center field for them.
Well, I had a talk with Bobby Bonds, the father of Barry Bonds, inside. He said this is the first true leadoff hitter that they have had in a very long time here, and they love Kenny Lofton being here, and he feels that he is going to be that added spark and dimension to get these guys into the playoffs.
And until Bonds and Sanders are healthy, they need Lofton to run from pillar to post in center field. Late strike called. 2 balls and a strike to count. Lofton is not the same player that starred for so many years with the Cleveland Indians, but he's still pretty good. He scored 68 runs with the White Sox, and he's got a ground ball past Fred McGriff into the right field corner. And Lofton's got at least 2, and he's thinking 3. He'll round second. He'll turn on the afterburners, and he's going to make it with a stand-up leadoff triple.
Chip, his first hit for the Giants is a home run. That was on the road, and his first hit here at home in his first at-bat. A triple down the right field line, and that's what the Giants need from this young man. Kenny Lofton turned on the afterburners here. Smyth with a fastball down the middle of the plate, and Lofton pulled it. Fred McGriff is playing up even with the bag, but off the line. And then once it gets in that corner, there was no stopping Kenny.
Second triple in the National League for Kenny Lofton with the Giants. And now an RBI chance for Rich Aurelia, who's been roasting hot. He's hit safely in 13 of the last 14 Giants games with 3 home runs. Aurelia has missed a lot of time this year with bone chips in his elbow and a groin injury. And they really miss him when he's not in the lineup. Giants are 18 games over 500 when Aurelia plays. And they're 61-50 overall. This guy's one of the best hitting shortstops you don't hear much about, with Nomar, with A-Rod, with Derek Jeter. And in our league, certainly Barry Larkin.
Well, last year he had a career high 324 average with 37 home runs and 97 RBIs. But one thing you have to really love about this Giant ball club is they'll have guys go down who are very important, but they find a way to win. They don't use the injuries as excuses. It motivates them, and that's what every team should be like.
Smyth behind in the count. 2 balls and no strikes, and a high towering fly ball to left. Alou shy of the warning track. That's going to be plenty deep enough to score Lofton. And it's a 1-0 San Francisco game here in the first. Aurelia with a sac fly and RBI number 36.
Well, the Cubs join Pepsi defense anchored by Todd Hundley. And Hundley did a pretty good job with Mark Pryor last time out when Pryor went the distance with 13 strikeouts, and hopefully do the same for Steve Smyth. Miller, Gonzalez, Bellhorn, McGriff, Alou, Patterson, and Sosa.
Jeff Kent, the hitter. I beg your pardon,
No,
Joe.
go ahead.
Third in the National League with a .329 batting average and 140 hits already on the season. This guy can slug. And if memory serves, he is a free agent to be at the end of this season, and there are a lot of folks who wonder if he'll be back here in San Francisco. Remember, he missed some time early in the year when they had motorcycle gate or car wash gate.
Yeah, he was washing his car, right?
That's what he said. Witnesses say he might have been riding his motorcycle in spring training, which is apparently a contractual no-no. But he's come back with a vengeance and has hit 21 home runs.
Since he has moved into the 3 spot, he usually hits behind Barry Bonds. But now it seems like the more he gets on base, he clogs up first base so that they'll have to pitch to Barry Bonds. And it's been a good move by Dusty Baker. And so far, the move has paid off. There's Barry and talking with his father, Bobby Bonds.
Well, this place will erupt when Kent finishes his at bat. He's got a line drive to left. Kent's hitting .416 since moving to the number 3 spot in the order, and it's going to go up with that solid single. And here's the ovation for Bonds.
Now batting left fielder, number 25, Barry Bonds.
Now you'll notice home plate umpire Jay Clem goes out. Whenever Barry Bonds comes up, like Mark McGwire, like Sammy Sosa in 1998, baseball is using specially marked baseballs. They have infrared markings so that if Bonds hits a home run into that throng and right, baseball will be able to immediately authenticate whether or not it was a game ball or a fake ball.
So you're saying that he used those titanium balls now?
He might be. Ball one outside. Again, the thing you have to remember about Bonds, he does not expand his strike zone. 122 walks, 42 of them intentional in 111 games this year.
And he's got more walks this year than I had in my whole career, 16-year career. So I applaud him, a man who can go out there and be very productive with only taking 2 or 3 swings a game. And that's what makes it so impressive. You never see him get antsy and get a little anxious of swinging balls out of the zone. He takes that short bat. He's on top of the plate. He's confident. He can reach the outside pitch and the inside pitch. So once you have a guy like that, I mean, there's no fear in him.
2 balls, no strikes, and that one caught the corner. This is not the first time Steve Smyth has seen Barry Bonds. They first met in 1989. Smyth was playing Little League ball in Temecula, California. Bonds came to one of the games because his agent's son played in their league.
Okay.
And Barry Bonds signed an autograph for Steve Smyth. And there's a line drive in the right center field. Nobody's getting that. That's going to go all the way to the wall, and Jeff Kent can crawl home. He's around third. Bonds, with that bad hamstring, jogs into second with a double. They've tripled, they've singled, they've doubled. It's a 2-0 game, and there's only 1 out in the first.
Boy, Chip, you have to be impressed. It seems like when the Cubs would face a guy for the very first time, it would take them 2 or 3 times to get into the order before they figured him out. Right now, the Giants have figured out Steve Smyth. And with the reason what Steve Smyth is doing, where he's making mistakes, he's making those mistakes in the middle of the plate. And you cannot do that with guys like Jeff Kent, Kenny Lofton, and also Barry Bonds. The only out he's gotten was a long fly ball off the bat of Rich Aurelia. And you see Barry scuffling. I mean, it kind of hurts to watch him, but you have to applaud him because he's out there playing. He knows 50% of Barry is better than 100% of a lot of other guys.
So it's 2-0, and Larry Rothschild out to talk to Steve Smyth. And you can understand the butterflies this kid's got going on. Coming off the shoulder surgery of last August. He didn't have very impressive numbers at AAA this year, trying to regain the form that had him touted as one of the bright young prospects in the Cubs farm system. But so far here in this first inning, he's been hit awfully hard.
If those aren't butterflies, those are horses.
Here's Santiago, a 5-time All-Star, including this season for the Giants. What an amazing story Santiago is. You recall he played for the Cubs a couple of years ago after that horrific automobile accident that nearly cost him his leg and his life.
With the Toronto Blue Jays, he had that accident.
And after 1 season with the Cubs, they let him go, and now Santiago has rebounded to terrific form, hitting .277 with 11 home runs. And that one chopped to Gonzalez. And the little ground ball takes care of Benito for out number 2.
Chip, the thing about Benito Santiago, when he went through that injury, I believe it was in January in the offseason of '98, he was supposed to miss the whole year. But he came back in the month of September, worked himself into shape, and played for the Blue Jays in September. So you have to applaud the dedication that he had to come back that very same year from an accident that almost ended his life and his career.
Here's Reggie Sanders hitting .259, 16 home runs, and 65 batted in for the Giant right fielder. Wicked breaking ball. Boy, did you see that thing dance around? Strike 1 to Sanders. He, too, injured a right hamstring in July 22nd against St. Louis.
All these hamstrings here. You see the big backdoor curveball Steve Smyth, and he's trying to really feel himself out there. He throws all 4 pitches. Not overpowering. I think he said in the statement that a few of his starts, he was maxed out around 82 to 86 miles an hour, but normally he's going to be around the 90-mile-an-hour range, low 90s with the fastball, but it's all about location.
As that shoulder gets stronger, as he gets bigger, as he matures physically, you figure he'll be able to throw a little bit harder, but he's right. The most important thing at this stage in his career is he has to hit spots.
Yes.
Especially against a team like San Francisco, which is 3rd in the National League in team batting average at 267. These guys can hit.
It doesn't matter who they put up there, and they're a carbon copy of their manager, Dusty Baker. Dusty is was a former hitting coach, former player of the Dodgers. I mean, Oakland A's, he wants to go out there and he wants to put the ball in motion. And when you have a manager who likes offense, I mean, they're going to be offensive minded. That's what he thrives on.
2 balls, 1 strike to Sanders. Bonds at second. It might take a triple to score him. With that bad hamstring, 3-1 the count. I'm not joking. I mean, they're not going to take any chances with him.
And rightfully so. That's why he's hoping Reggie Sanders will either hit one into the gap where he can coast home, or possibly even a home run where he can jog home. But he's not going to be going too hard. And you can see he's already played dividends so far in this game.
3 balls and a strike. Ground ball, foul past third. And we will do it again with a 3-2 count. Giant trainer Stan Conti said it best: I don't want to see anything like this ever again. Bonds with a hamstring, Sanders with a hamstring, Shinjo with a hamstring. Last year, Tom Goodwin, while with Colorado, popped his hamstring.
You think it may have something to do with the cool air out here?
It's probably too cold for their players out here, that's for sure. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 in, 2 out.
And that's the one thing I made a mention about. You talk about having a home field advantage. You never hear the Giants players talk about the winds here or how cold it can be. They use that as an advantage for them.
Swing, belted deep to left field, and Bonds can walk home. It's a 2-run homer for Reggie Sanders.
Boy, you see a good fastball hitting ball club, Chip, but these guys are also good off-speed pitches. They are a good off-speed hitting team, and you saw Reggie Sanders just unload off Steve Smyth, and right there, pointing skywards. 4 runs here in the bottom of the first, and just like that, the Giants come home, and they feel they are ready to take over the lead in the wild card. And you see Steve Smyth, he knew it as soon as he threw that breaking ball. Right now the Giants are not fooled.
And they've hit for the cycle here in the first inning. Here's Damon Minor, 10 homers, 21 RBIs. This kid's emergence has sent J.T. Snow into a reserve role, and that's saying something. Snow, a Gold Glove caliber first baseman, and Damon Minor, I should say, hitting rockets all over the place. And only 140 at bats. This kid with 10 homers and 21 batted in.
It's easy to get him confused with his twin brother Ryan Minor, University of Oklahoma baseball and basketball stars. Ryan was the guy to take over for Cal Ripken in the game when Cal broke his streak. The Baltimore Oriole, but now Damon is the one getting all the pub.
Twins, huh?
Yes.
Stephen and Christopher, wake up.
Yep.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yep. Damon and Ryan Minor.
An inauspicious big league debut for Steve Smyth here tonight. 4 runs on 4 hits in the Giants' first. A big cut in the foul back and out of play. This is how the Giants have to play now. They really are playing to a certain degree with their backs against the wall. They are 7 games behind the Diamondbacks, and I believe they have 6 left with Arizona in the season's final 7 or 8 weeks. A more realistic goal for them is probably going to be the wild card, where they're in a battle with the Dodgers and the Reds. But they've got to, number 1, get healthy, and number 2, take advantage of their home park. They're very good in this place and have been ever since it opened.
And talking to these guys, they feel that they are ready to take over the Dodgers in that position.
Smyth strikes out Minor, but the Giants hit for the cycle in the first. Bonds didn't homer. He did double and drive in a run and scored ahead of a Reggie Sanders 2-run homer.
If your life is one adventure after another, you need to explore the Dodge Summer Clearance Event and the bold new Dodge Ram Quad Cab. 4 full-size doors coupled with a full-size bed, plus Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty. Ford, Chevy, Honda, or Toyota don't match it. And now get a generous cash allowance of up to $3,000 or 0% APR financing for 60 months on Durango. All of which now make Dodge man's newest best friend at the Dodge Summer Clearance Event.
Find the seams. It's the splitter. No, it's the high heat. Did I lock my keys in the car? Is that so, sir? Going for my Pepsi. Sammy.
The 1-liter Big Slam from Pepsi. More of the taste you go for.
You can use Speed Pass at Mobile to fill up fast. And also at McDonald's to fill up fast. To get your free Speed Pass, call now or go to speedpass.com. Speed Pass, today's way to pay. This summer, every time you use Speed Pass at Mobile or at McDonald's, you'll be entered into the Wave, Wish, and Win Key to Cash sweepstakes, where you could win up to $4,000 in cash. Call now to get your free Speed Pass. Speed Pass, today's way to pay.
Hey, Cubs fans, with summer road construction, public transportation is a quick, convenient way to get you to the game. Take the train or bus, and the CTA takes you right to the gates of Wrigley Field. And remember, if you do drive, come early, enjoy batting practice, and take advantage of the early bird discount.
Mike Bars, weekdays on Chicago's very own WGN Morning News.
First inning, a real rough one for Steve Smyth, but hey, the kid's got to learn something now and hold these Giants right where they are. 4-0 after 1 inning of play. 1 turn through for Barry Bonds. He has an RBI double and a run scored. And here in the second, Alou, Patterson, and Hundley are coming up for the Cubs here at Pac Bell Park. Again, the Giants give Ryan Jensen more run support than any other Giant starter. And they gave him 4 in the first.
Yeah, that's always a plus when you can go out there and you can get 4 runs. You're going to stick to a 4-run lead after 1 inning. What that does, that allows him to go out there and pitch his ball game, and he's not worried about making that mistake. When a pitcher gets in trouble is when they thinking about one pitch may be the difference in the ball game. 4-0 lead, you can almost cross that out right now.
Alou hitting .253 on the year. He's knocked in 10 runs in the last 6 games in which he's played and is starting to hit and play like the Alou the Cubs thought they were getting from the opening bell. A ball and a strike, and as we look at our Illinois Lottery fun fact, you'll see the numbers Alou's presented since the 1st of June.
So the thing is, it's very good for him to turn this season around, and although the Cubs are kind of gone for right now, and he still has something to prove because he's playing for next year also.
He's a much better player than he's shown this year.
Oh, definitely.
He's still going to rebound and have a fine season. I'm guessing 15 to 17 home runs. 65 to 80 RBIs for the Cubs. And hopefully that'll give him some confidence and get him prepared mentally for what's approaching in 2003 for the Cubs. For they cannot afford the same kind of start next year that they had this year when they stumbled out of the gate 8 games under 500.
That's right, because they don't want to go speeding bye-bye.
Here's Corey Patterson hitting .264 with 9 homers and 39 runs batted in. Big Cub fan Nick Hunter looking in from Nashville, Tennessee tonight. Hoping his favorite player, Corey Patterson, can crack a 2-run homer here and get the Cubs on the board in the second.
And we even got fans in Little Arthur, Texas looking in. Carrie and Sophie Noel, so they're big Cub fans also.
Ripped down the right field line. Who was the first Noel?
No, he was the second.
Oh, okay.
No, the first Noel was father.
Oh, all right. Gotcha. Pac Bell Park in San Francisco. That promenade, they call it the right field arcade area over the Old Navy Splash Landing sign. And there's a great view down the right field line. Boy, they give you a whole lot of cameras and angles in this place, don't they? 2 strikes the count. 1-2 to Patterson. Giants have placed extra security out in the outfield. Of course, when Bonds broke the McGuire home run record, they had a big scrum for that fly ball, and the 2 men that are contesting ownership are suing each other.
Yes, I tell you.
It's unbelievably petty, but ball's supposedly worth $1.5 million. And again, baseball's using special baseballs when Bonds is batting, and for those folks who want to watch the action from McCovey Cove as Patterson grounds to the pitcher and into a double play, that's a rarity. 1-6-3 and out, erases the bases. You can float around all you want, McCovey Cove, but you can't have a motorboat out there because someone tried to come in and scoop up a home run ball that Bonds hit last year, which they said was foul play.
Well, and speaking of foul play right here, Corey Patterson right back through the box, and Jensen up to the task, the pitcher's best friend. He starts at 1-6-3. And Corey does not ground into double plays very often.
That's only his 3rd of the year in 407 at bats. And they knew they had to turn it quickly, and Jensen threw a fastball to Aurelia to start the Twin killing. Here's Todd Hundley. Todd won for his last 13 with 4 strikeouts. And he takes the ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. If there is a question about this Giant team, I guess you could say it is their starting rotation. Is it good enough to make a serious charge at the Arizona Diamondbacks? As Hundley hits a single to right. Good start for his night. 3 hits for the Cubs in the game.
And the thing is, Chip, Levon Hernandez, who will be the starter on Sunday, which we'll have that game on WGN. He was, I'm sorry, not Thursday. Not Sunday, yeah, Thursday. I mean, he wanted out. He demanded a trade by the deadline, but did not happen. So you wonder how much dissension that may possibly cause in the clubhouse when the guy says that he wants out.
Well, I don't know how much of a market there is for a guy with 11 losses, 174 hits, 50 walks, and 151 innings.
Wow, he's hitting that high, huh?
He's getting hit awfully hard, although he is pitching better of late. And he's not making the minimum, if memory serves, either.
No, he's not.
1 ball, no strikes to Alex Gonzalez as the Cubs trail by 4 here in the top half of the 2nd inning. But the Giants' ERA as a team, 3.75. Very good, obviously. That's second in the National League. But a lot of that has been done by their bullpen. A little ground ball hit to Aurelia at short. He'll fire to first, and Minor inside foul territory takes care of that. And the Cubs are out of luck in the 2nd. 4-0 our score as we head to the home half of inning number 2.
This fall, in life, you get one opportunity to seize the moment. For Joel Larson, he's getting his moment again.
It's 1981.
This can't be happening. He has the chance to fix his life.
I just must be having some crazy dream. I have hair.
Fix his parents.
You guys are still married.
Shocks the hell out of me too sometimes.
And maybe his sister. Maybe.
Oh my God, I'm stuck here.
The new comedy Do-Over. Thursdays this fall on WGN, Chicago's WB.
Are you just gonna lay around all day?
I think so.
Fine.
Those are real.
For the great taste that won't fill you up and never lets you down, make it a Bud Light.
You get a good eyeful, buddy?
Maybe we could get that chateau I always wanted.
Do you have any idea how many light bulbs you need to light up a chateau?
Introducing Mega Millions, the new big game from the Illinois Lottery. Jackpots start at $10 million. Play Mega Millions.
Plenty of good seats are still available for Cubs games throughout the 2002 season. The Cubs will be back home Monday night, August 12th, for a 4-game series with the Houston Astros. There are lots of good tickets available for that series and some scattered good ones for next weekend's affair with the Arizona Diamondbacks. You can pick up Cubs tickets by phone at 1-800-THE-CUBS at the Wrigley Field box office, any Chicagoland Sears or Sears hardware store, or visit Cubs.com, the ultimate baseball website. Listen to game day audio and watch highlights direct, baseball's best and more, exclusively at Cubs.com. There's one of the main men in baseball's hierarchy, Sandy Alderson, longtime executive with the Oakland A's, enjoying game 1 of this series in San Francisco. And a close play at first, but Bell is retired on 1 pitch. 1 out for the Giants in the second.
Alex Gonzalez had a little trouble getting out of his glove and had a double pump to get the ball out. He was able to get David Bell.
I'm kind of surprised Sandy Alderson's here and not in New York.
Well, yeah, but he wants to be here in case Bonds does hit the 2 home runs.
Well, that might be it, too.
Yeah.
He might be representing Bud Selig.
Yeah, Bud's probably in labor negotiations.
Didn't think of that. Again, more good news, I suppose. Owners and players met again today. Both sides say progress is being made. Now, what exactly that means, no one knows for sure, but apparently
the minor details.
The player representatives are apparently going to meet Monday in Chicago. It's an off day for most teams in baseball, and there is a possibility that a strike date could be set on Monday. And the thinking is, or at least what has been said by some of the players, is that the main reason for setting a strike date is to create an even greater sense of urgency to get a deal done. If that's what it takes, so be it. Swing and a miss by Jensen. And there's the second major league strikeout for Steve Smyth, and he's retired the last 3 men in a row.
Yeah, he gets the pitcher, Ryan Jensen, here on that breaking ball. He likes that curveball. You can see that's what if he's going to be successful, he has to find a way to get that curveball over the plate, but keep it down in the zone. He got hurt with the home run off the bat of Reggie Sanders on a breaking ball, so he's got in the middle of the plate. If he can keep it down like that outside corner, it could be a little bit more effective.
Kenny Lofton hit a 3-hop triple past Fred McGriff into the right field corner. His first time up, and later scored on a Rich Aurelius sacrifice fly. Giants got 4 runs, 3 extra base hits in that first inning of play. And now Smyth trying to settle down a little bit and put a goose egg up for San Francisco here in inning number 2. As Joe mentioned, the Giants come in 1/2 game behind the Dodgers in the National League wild card. And a good pitch that time. Fastball froze him. 1-2 your count.
And the Dodgers losing last night's game to the Phillies with 2 hits batsmen.
How about that?
Giovanni Carrera.
Dodgers are in action at home tonight facing the Pirates, and they have no score in the 3rd inning of that game. Braves and Diamondbacks in a huge series. Schilling against Millwood, no score in the 3rd inning at the Bank One ballpark. Reds getting clobbered by the Rockies. A different team at home is Colorado. 6-1 the score there. That game in the 6th. St. Louis's miseries continue. The Expos absolutely obliterated the Cardinals tonight. 10-1. Chuck Finley got clobbered. Jose Macias went 4 for 5 for Montreal. Ground ball towards Miller at 3rd, and the long toss across takes care of Lofton and the Giants in the 2nd inning. Good rebound by Steve Smyth. Nothing doing for San Francisco, and Smyth will carry the lumber to the plate right after this.
This portion of Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN is brought to you by the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Hyundai dealers.
The Sonata from Hyundai. Redesigned with V6 power, room for 5, and the freedom of America's best warranty plan.
Daddy, look what I got at school today.
That's great.
Gonna put on your new car, Daddy?
Let's go put it on Mommy's car.
The Sonata from Hyundai. There's not another thing it needs.
SBC has state-of-the-art telecommunication networks located across the country. Our competitors have access to them. At SBC, we have multi-billion-dollar plans to develop new technologies. Most of our competitors have marketing plans. We have switches, routers, towers, wires, trucks, repair crews, tool belts, and hard hats. They have salespeople. See, these days, not everyone selling phone service is what you'd call a phone company. Middlemen? Yes. Providers? Yes. But a phone company? Our lines, our networks. Infinite expertise. SBC.
If a Cubs player hits a homer today, write down the distance and the player's name and send it to WGN TV. You could win 2 round-trip tickets to any Southwest Airlines destination.
Well, take us down memory lane. You remember your first Major League at bat, I'm sure.
Yes, I do. It was off a right-hander by the name of Charles Hudson in Philadelphia, and I struck out my first at-bat. So, in fact, I was 0 for my first 7 until the 3rd game. I faced a guy by the name of Steve Carlton. And my first big league hit off Steve Carlton.
Hey, Steve Smyth makes contact, but Lofton playing him at Little League depth. And there's out number 1 here in the 3rd inning.
Yeah, there's the guy sitting on the dock of the bay, reading a book.
What's he reading?
That's hey, is that the he's doing the forward for your new book, right?
Hope it's not the Old Man of the Sea. Here's Bellhorn. He struck out his first time up.
What a way to spend an afternoon.
Wonder if he's got one of those itty-bitty book lights out there, because it's starting to get dark here out on the West Coast. And Bellhorn takes low. Ball 1. Might be Psych 101. One of our crew members tells us that's not too far of a stretch.
Mark Bellhorn happy to be back in the Bay. He's on the other side of the Bay. Used to be over there in the Oakland A's organization.
And obviously with playing time, Bellhorn is...
Yeah, I don't think he likes the Bay Area too good, huh? 198, 7 home runs.
Well, you don't play a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that's to be expected. But it's Mark's now starting for the 24th time as the #1 hitter in the lineup. And with playing time and confidence comes success.
I mean, it's all about being in the right situation at the right time and seizing that opportunity. When you get a chance to go out there and play, you better come prepared. And Mark Bellhorn has taken advantage of that, and he's made a name for himself and in baseball. 17 home runs, 18 home runs, and he is just having a phenomenal season. So one of the bright spots on the Cubs' very dismal year this year.
Let me ask you this. If Bobby Hill is the second baseman of the future for this team and Hee-Sop Choi is the first baseman of the future, and you've got young Alex Gonzalez at shortstop, can Bellhorn play everyday third base, in your opinion, at the Major League level? We haven't seen him play there much this season.
As he takes ball 4, I think Mark Bellhorn is a very good infielder, and he can play either position. I think first, second, or third base. Now, playing there every day, that remains to be seen. He's doing a very good job at second base. The thing is, third base, I think, is less demanding than second base. Sure, you're going to have a lot more balls hit to you a little bit harder, but you only have one thing to worry about, the throws to first and throws to second. And second base is more pivotable because can't get that word out, that you have to worry about turning double play. You know, the guys coming in on you very hard at second base. So a little bit more worry. So I think he can play third base every day.
And the real value for a guy like Bellhorn is that, assuming you have 2 rookies on the right side of your infield next year, you can play Bellhorn at either second or first against the real tough left-handers, like the Randy Johnsons of the world, like the Chuck Finleys, like whomever you want to throw out there, and let those youngsters enjoy a day off from time to time.
Yeah, and I'm sure Mark Bellhorn would say thank you very much for having me face all these big Hall of Famer Cy Youngs. Thanks to this 0 for 4, they used to call it.
And that's not to say the Cubs don't think highly of Bill Miller, and they still may have big plans for him as a hit and run is on, and Bellhorn's going to make it to third without a throw. First and third for Sosa with 1 man out.
But that's
Bruce Kim promised he was going to be more aggressive, and he is here in the third inning.
And it seemed like probably the first 10, 11 ball games, Bruce Kim was very aggressive. The guys were off and running, set everything in motion. But all of a sudden, he went through a lull period where they were looking for the home runs, and they weren't getting them. But now, starting Mark Bellhorn, which is a good thing when you're down 4 runs, creates a hole for Bill Miller. And now Bill Miller with his second hit back in the Bay.
And here's Sammy Sosa, who hit a ball right on the button to straightaway center field. So a home run here makes it a 1-run game. 4-0 Giants. Sosa with 33 homers on the year takes the ball low. 1 ball, no strikes. By the way, Scott Rowland made his home debut for St. Louis today. They haven't played too well since they acquired him from the Phillies, and that chemistry is sometimes a very difficult thing to gauge. They gave away Placido Polanco, they gave away Mike Timlin, they gave away Bud Smith, and a line drive into right. Base hit for Sosa, scores Bellhorn. Miller around second. He's on his way to third. Sammy will go to second, and the Cubs in business here in the third inning. They make it a 4-1 game. Boy, when Sammy starts to hit the ball to right field, you're ready to see some good things start to happen on a consistent basis for him.
And especially with guys in scoring position. And this is something we have not seen from the Cubs this year, where they can put together a rally. A very good breaking ball there by Ryan Jensen. But Sammy slicing it down the right field line just over the head of Damon Minor. But keeping that rally going first and third, second and third, putting the pressure on the opposition, and down 4-0, you've got to get something going. So the Cubs are smiling right now.
Yeah, it seems like there have not been many first and third or second and third chances for this Cub team all year long. But now that's the case. Second and third, 1 out for McGriff, who tapped out his first time up. A hit scores a pair, you figure, and ball 1 to Fred over the outside corner. McGriff could pass Billy Williams with a base hit right here. Both of those men with 1,475 career runs batted in.
He is climbing up the ladder, getting close to 500 home runs, 1,500 RBIs. Those are not bad career numbers.
We may have to ask Mark Brady, do some checking or get on the phone with Stats Inc. How many guys with 1,500 RBIs are not in the Hall of Fame? Bet you there aren't that many.
No.
2-0. He's going to see a pretty good pitch here from Ryan Jensen. Off speed, and he's out in front. 2 balls and a strike.
You'll find a lot out about a pitcher when he gets behind the count, what he likes to throw when he needs a strike. Ryan Jensen there needed a strike, righty against lefty in a fastball situation, and he was very confident in the breaking ball, and he got McGriff out in front. So that tells me he likes the breaking ball, and those are things as a hitter you have to capitalize on and look at.
From another off-speed pitch, it looked like. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Now he's battled back to an even count. Figure the kitchen sink could be coming your way.
Well, you may see some off-speed here once again. Maybe not the breaking ball, because very seldom will you see much less a veteran, even a rookie, throwing 3 straight pitches, the same type pitch. So he's going to either throw the changeup or maybe try to get the fastball up and in on McGriff. Getting to chase something out of the strike zone.
2-2.
Yeah, there's a fastball up and in. And when you got a veteran like Benito Santiago behind the plate, that's the way they think.
Pretty simple game. Up and in, low and away. Up and in, low and away, isn't it?
It's funny because a lot of times when you go over scouting reports and say, okay, how do you pitch this guy? Well, fastball up and in, breaking ball on the way. It's like, the pitches go, well, that's 85% of every hitter.
Popped up left side. Bell on a dead sprint toward the Giant dugout. Reaches up and can't make the play. And slams into that railing. What a great effort he made.
That's when you get the wind knocked out of you.
I mean, he came on a dead run from the outfield grass, it seemed like.
I mean, he's playing shortstop, and he gives it an all-out effort. He's running full speed. He can't slow down, can't stop himself. And then up against the railing. You know, McGriff is like, get out, get out, get out.
So he gets a swing on the house here. Full count, 3-2 with Miller at third, Sammy at second. 4-1 Giant game now. Swing and a drive deep toward right field. Did he do it?
Yes.
Yes, he did. Fred McGriff's first home run at Pac Bell Park ties this game at 4 apiece.
The crime dog has come onto the scene and stolen for what was a 4-0 lead. Now 4-4 as Fred McGriff adds 3 more RBIs, and Ryan Jensen tried to come in with that fastball. He went slow, slow, slow. Did not want to show him that pitch, but it came in. He had to throw a strike, and he pays for it dearly.
24 home runs, 78 driven in, and McGriff moves past Billy Williams with 1,478 career RBIs. He's the 3rd highest active RBI man in the game today.
And now pitching coach Dave Righetti is right there. The joy the Giants had early in the game, it was short-lived because the Cubs coming back from a 4-0 deficit here with 1 out in the 3rd inning to put 4 runs on the board.
And the Dodgers and Reds are dancing in their dugouts at the moment. Same story for the Diamondbacks. San Francisco 7 games out of first and only a half game out of the wild card. They led 4-0. They've surrendered the lead. Jensen gives up his 18th home run in this his 22nd start. So Alou bats with 4 runs in and still only 1 man out. So Steve Smyth, you got a reprieve. Hot shot to Bell at 3rd. 1-hop rocket. And the throw to first in time for out number 2.
And you know Steve Smyth is in the dugout saying, okay, I battled back to square one here. It's all tied up. You know, the opposition, the offense have done their job. Now it's time for me to go out there and shut these Giants down once again. But Fred McGriff with the laser beam. And look out, Ellis Burks. He tells Ellis, I'm coming, so.
Patterson hitting to a double play his first time up. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and a strike.
Well, there's a few things that Corey Patterson will have to work on this offseason. One of the things I like to see him work on is really keeping those hips closed until contact is almost made. One thing he tries to do, he tries to hit the inside pitch with his hips opening up.
Popped up. Mile high behind the plate. Santiago and Bell converge, and Bell overran it.
I tell you what, David Bell is getting his sprints in right now, Chip, because he's having to run a very long way. The thing about those high fly balls off the bat of a left-handed hitter, when it's coming down, it's going to go back to David Bell's left, to your right as you look to the TV screen, and he came running, charging hard. And he has to put the brakes on because once that ball reaches its apex, and it comes back the other way.
We've seen more guys overrun pop flies this year than I can remember at any other time. A little chopper hit toward Kent at second, and that'll do it for the Cubs. Great comeback, though, here in the 3rd with 1 out, a walk, 2 singles, and a 3-run homer ties the game as we head to the 3rd with Aurelia, Kent, and Bonds coming up next.
Log on now for Southwest Airlines $39 to $99 internet specials. Purchased by August 19th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Yeah?
I'm sorry, I was looking for the surprise party.
This is it. Quick, hurry up and hide.
Okay.
Quiet, you ruin everything.
Bring a box of Dunkin' Donuts to any occasion.
Get $1 off a dozen donuts or 50 Munchkins donut whole treats with your losing lottery ticket.
22-point clutch.
Looks good too, huh? But I don't know. The Big Daddy feels awfully good. 18 volts.
Why don't you just get this one?
Sometimes I feel like you don't even know who I am.
Introducing Tool Territory, America's best tool store, with the largest selection of tool brands anywhere. Sears. Where else?
The V6 Nissan Altima, North American Car of the Year.
He's only 28 home runs away from 500 himself. And Fred McGriff, with his first home run at Pacific Bell Park, ties the game at 4. But beware, Barry Bonds due up third here in the third of a 4-4 game in San Francisco. Aurelia, Kenton Bonds coming up. Aurelia with a sac fly and an RBI. And here's where you really want to see the young left-hander put another goose egg up. Cubs have the momentum on their side. If he can get him in the third, you turn the bats loose against Jensen in the fourth.
Yeah, he should have all the nervousness out of the way. He's already given up 4 runs in the first inning. He went through the second inning 1, 2, 3. He got his first at bat out of the way. So now it's all uphill from here.
Well, lefties are a rarity. I mean, especially in this division, the Cubs have to find somehow, some way. 1 and maybe 2 left-handed starters, and certainly a couple more left-handers for the bullpen. When you think of all the left-handed bats in this division, with Griffey, with Dunn, with Edmonds, with Drew, with Tino Martinez, Berkman, of course, a switch hitter. Darrell Ward bats from the left side for Houston. As one of the ball dudes has a little problem down in left.
Ball dude?
That's what they call him here.
Yeah, he's a left-hander, but he should have a glove on the other side. But
that's left. That's Dick Leland. He's from Sonoma, 74 years young, and
tell you what, he's got pretty good wheels as he goes after the ball. So if you miss it, you run up the ball hard.
Hot shot, base hit. Rich Aurelia is aboard in front of Jeff Kent. Dick is active in the Sonoma Valley Rotary Club, and on the first base line is a name that Chicago sports fans might recognize. Dick Gregory. He's 67. Owns a vineyard, grows grapes for Ravenswood wine. He played halfback for the Chicago Bears and was known as the Billings Bullet when he starred for the University of Montana.
He looks like a football player, doesn't he? Stern look. And it is football season, but right now the Cubs trying to find a way to shut this giant offense down. Aurelia leads off the base hit. Now Jeff Kent, who singled back in the first, later scored.
I must tell you that Dick Gregory, the Billings Bullet, must be a higher caliber defensive ball dude than Dick Leland down at third base.
Defensive ball dude. Like all it's missing is a surfboard now, huh?
Don't put it past him. They have, at least they used to, they have what was called the Bay Area Rescue Corps, otherwise known as BARK or BARK, and they would send the Labrador Retrievers diving into McCovey Cove to chase the home run balls that were hit out there. I don't know if the dogs are out there tonight or not.
Who let the dogs out?
Please don't submit someone. 3 balls, no strikes. Dangerous pitch to Kent. And 2 men are on in front of Bonds. You got to face him now. Smyth's first walk. 2 men on. Nobody out for Barry Bonds.
Steve Smyth has gotten himself back into trouble once you got the game back at tied up at square one. A base hit to Rich Aurelia, then a walk to Jeff Kent, and he was nowhere near the strike zone. And now you face Barry Lamar Bonds.
95 hits this year for Bonds coming into play tonight. 52 of them for extra bases.
It's amazing. When he makes contact, it's usually for extra bases. And that's why I say when you get 2 or 3 swings a game,
it is remarkable. Swing and a rocket shot right back toward us. Strike one. Last time Bonds was up, he hit a double to right center field on a ball that was right at the knees. If Smyth elevates the ball against this guy, he's making a woeful mistake. With that big uppercut swing, you're helping Bonds elevate the ball into the outfield.
Yeah, but the thing is, as you look at Peter McGowan, the owner of the San Francisco Giants, I mean, where do you pitch Barry Bonds?
You don't.
That's just it. And with first base, everything occupied, you've got to come to him. And Steve Smyth, the disagreement of Barry on the fastball inside. That's where a lot of the old-time veterans say they would pitch him, keep the ball inside. And Barry thought the ball was a little bit low. Tremendous eye at the plate.
No balls, 2 strikes. Smyth has him at his mercy. And that's downstairs. Bonds, since '98, trails Sammy Sosa by 52 home runs. Sosa with 276, Bonds with 224 during that span. But he's got 598 as we play tonight. 1 ball, 2 strikes, runners lead. Swing, and there's a drive. Right center field deep. Patterson back, and that ball is gone. Number 599 for Bonds. We told you at the start of our show, he eats young pitchers for lunch. And he launched that baby into the right center field seats. 599 homers for Bonds. He puts the Giants in front, and this sellout crowd is waiting for a curtain call.
Chip, this is just unbelievable. I mean, and I played the game, but never have I seen such a phenomenon like this. He had a very good swing. The first pitch from Steve Smyth fouled it back. The fan get 2 strikes on him. You cannot pitch to Barry Bonds because he has no weaknesses. Inside, outside, up, down, it does not matter. Once the ball is over the plate, he is going to crush it and straight away center field.
He's 2 for 2, a homer, 4 RBIs. And the Giants have come right back to take the lead at 7-4, and a swing and a miss by Benito Santiago. We were in St. Louis when McGuire hit number 62. It's not quite the same feeling, but when you look on that scoreboard in right center field and you see Aaron, Ruth, and Mays, as Santiago skies that one to left for out number 1. And you see that Barry Bonds is 1 home run away from joining those 4 men with 600 or more. And you consider the incredible sluggers that have played this game and have not reached those milestones. It's very, very, very humbling.
Those are some lofty numbers by a lofty individual. And he knew it as soon as he hit it. I mean, the thing is, you never see Barry Bonds out on his front foot. He keeps his weight back, tremendous speed, tremendous power from the upper body. And he is just going, I mean, it is, a lot of times you're lost for words. But the man does not miss. You throw him a pitch, you think it's a good pitch, and he hits it 420 some odd feet.
I'll say this for Smyth, he went right after him. But,
well, he had to because, yeah.
You got 2 guys on, but
exactly.
You have to wonder with a guy like Bonds whether you're reeling him in or he's reeling you in.
And I think a lot of times he's reeling you in because like I said in the opening, he doesn't worry about what the pitcher is going to do or how he's going to pitch to him. He lets the pitcher worry about pitching to Barry.
There's a rocket shot to right by Sanders, and Sammy makes the play. 2 down in the 3rd inning.
And that's what I feel a lot of guys should do. Don't go to the plate thinking about, okay, what's this guy going to throw me? I haven't faced him. I'm worried about him. No, the pitcher is worried about you, and with 2 guys on, he's going to worry a little bit more. Fastball, and Smyth, he knew it. And a fastball that Barry may have been looking for that. He got the one fastball by him the first time he took it, and Smyth thought he could go back to the same spot. No way.
Damon Minor pops that one up again. Todd Hundley in fair ground, can't get it. It's a fair ball. He and Minor were bumping shoulders down that first base line. And both the Giants and Cubs now have botched a pop-up in this game, and that's got to be an error on Hundley.
And this was a little bit easier than the plays that David Bell had, because Bell had to run a long way. But Todd Hundley should have had this ball very easily. And he gets rid of his mask as Minor pops it straight up. See Smyth pointing, and Hundley's right there. Taps his gloves a couple of times and just missed it.
So here's Bell. He's the 7th man to hit in the inning. Bell grounded out to short his first time up.
And you cannot give any team extra outs, because that means you bring up Barry one more time.
Well, we're going to see him a couple more times before this game's over. And that's fisted back toward us. A ball and a strike to Bell.
So the thing I've been impressed with Barry, and when Mark McGuire was going for the home run record with 62, with the whole nation watching, that they find a way to come through and do it very early. McGuire with his 62nd home run, the last home game against the Cubs that they were playing before he went on the road trip. And now Barry comes back home, and his second at bat, he hits it out. So a flair for the dramatic. They love being in those situations, and they come through more than not. Very impressive.
1 ball, 2 strikes. 7 runs, 6 hits for the Giants. 4 runs, 6 hits, an error for the Cubs. Borowski ready if Bell reaches. As Steve Smyth has been victimized by the extra base hit tonight. 432 feet on the Bonds home run, and he got every bit of it.
I was off by 11 feet. Okay. That's a good guesstimation.
Man. That's about the only thing this crowd's booed tonight. Fan dropped an easy pop-up.
Well, the players have been dropping them, so the fans say, hey, I got to get a little game action here. Everybody's got the butterfingers.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Swing, and that's tomahawk to left, but not much carry to it. Alou drifting back, and at the edge of the warning track calls it in. History in San Francisco. Barry Bonds hits number 599, and it was a no-doubter. A 3-run shot puts the Giants back in front.
This portion of Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN is brought to you by Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. Dodge.
You play to win, you can win big during the Dodge Summer Clearance, where you'll find the hot new Dodge SXTs, Intrepid, Stratus, and Neon, Magnum Performance, Sport Wheels, and Kick and CD Sound, with a cash allowance of up to $3,000, or 0% financing for 60 months on Intrepid and Stratus. Plus Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty. Ford, Chevy, Honda, or Toyota don't match it. Get your SXT now at the Dodge Summer Clearance event.
Does a pair beat a straight?
Yes.
What?
Gina, 3?
Tina.
Oh, she's been sending me pictures. On the phone?
Pictures of what?
Things she can do.
I'm out.
When a wireless phone lets you take and send pictures,
That ought to do it.
that's M-Life from AT&T Wireless.
This portion of Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN is brought to you by Walgreens, the pharmacy of the Chicago Cubs.
The times are uncertain.
And knowing the day's events has never been more important.
Whether the story's developing here in Chicago
Or across the world. WGN News at 9 brings you the local perspective.
Watch WGN News at 9.
This week on WGN Morning News, find out how you could win tickets to WGN Skybox to see the Rolling Stones in concert and hang out with your favorite news personalities. Just watch WGN Morning News all this week to find out how you can win.
And the Bonds squad happy tonight. He's delivered 1 home run. He's got .599 in his career. And more importantly for the Giants, and Bonds will tell you this, more importantly than his pursuit of individual excellence, he wants to get this San Francisco team into the playoffs. And they're winning now by a 7-4 score for Todd Hundley.
And Barry will always talk to you about that, Chip. He's like, the only thing I don't have, I've got MVPs, I've got home run titles. He said, but the one thing I want is a ring. And he has to get to the playoffs. That's his mission. I mean, he is on a mission.
Let me ask you this. The impression of Barry Bonds by the sporting public, whether fairly or unfairly, is not necessarily the greatest. I think Barry's media image is that of a sometimes surly, unhappy guy. My own personal belief is I've enjoyed meeting him. I've enjoyed my time with him. He's been nothing but terrific with which to work. But what kind of a teammate is Barry Bonds? Because obviously behind closed doors and in that clubhouse, the perception that the fans get probably, I'm guessing, isn't the same that his teammates get, although Jeff Kent might disagree.
Well, you know, he's not going to back down from anybody. One thing about Barry, I mean, there is a different Barry Bonds. What you see in public is not the way Barry Bonds is in the clubhouse. Sure, a lot of teammates do not like the way he goes about things, but once he gets on that field, he can flat out play. And that's all that Barry Bonds wants to do. He didn't like to go out and be noticed all the time and be in the headlines. He shies away from that. And a lot of interviews he do, I mean, he's very sensitive, you know, in that category. But on the field, the man can play. And that's the way he tries to get himself psyched up to play the game, by being harsh to the media or being kind of a malcontent.
Or standoffish.
Yeah, standoffish. I mean, that's the way he comes across. But he's not that way. I mean, I've seen times where I brought young kids in. They wanted to meet Barry Bonds. And he's the perfect gentleman with the kids, talks to them, everything. I mean, he can be that way.
Todd pops it back. Again, obviously you were teammates with him and a contemporary of his. We had him on the leadoff man when the Giants were in Chicago. He was great.
Yeah, and the thing is, I mean, when you get him into talking to a player or somebody around baseball, in the baseball realm of things, I mean, he breaks down. You see the real Barry Bonds. And when I interviewed him, when I played with him, that was the real Barry Bonds. The other thing is just the way he prepares himself to try to go out there and play.
Ground ball, foul past first. Unfortunately, dealing with the media, dealing with the press, dealing with the fans, that is part of a ball player's job, and it's really part of our job too. That's right. What we do. It's part of the all-encompassing nature of this sport. It's very difficult to be a private person when you are a public figure, and there are no public figures in this town bigger than Barry Lamar Bonds, as you would say.
Well, that is very true, but it does come with the territory, and you have to find a way to balance everything out. And Barry's learning. I mean, sure, you know, he didn't like talking to the media. When he was talking to the media last year, it seemed like he said, I started going to slumps because all of a sudden he started thinking about the home runs. I guarantee you, Barry Bonds does not think about hitting home runs. When he goes up there, he wants to put the ball in play and get the pitch he wants to get. And with his swing, with the little uppercut swing he has, the ball is going to jump off his bat, which we have seen.
3 balls, 2 strikes again to Todd Hundley, who singled his first time up. And that one crushed down the right field line, home run distance, but well out of play.
He almost reminds me of another player that a lot of people have problems with off the field, and that was Albert Bell. But talking to the players, and I played with Albert Bell and played cards with Albert Bell in the clubhouse. Around the players, great guy to have around, but they get outside that world, and all of a sudden they're a little bit insecure.
Todd Hundley works a walk here in the 4th inning. That's the last thing Jensen wanted to do after the Giants gave him a 3-run lead again. So Todd is issued a 4th inning walk for Hundley in 188 at bats. That's the 22nd walk he's received this year. Here's Gonzalez. He grounded out to the shortstop.
Boy, walks would drive a pitching coach into early retirement and into gray hair. So Dave Rigetti, you go out there, you give your team a 3-0 lead, 3-run lead, and you walk the leadoff hitter. It's going to be a long night tonight. What do you think?
I think it already is, because the Cubs are on the short end of a 7-4 game. Cub pen busy again. Smyth's spot is due up after Gonzalez. You got to figure they'll get him out of there with the 7 runs on the board already. And a line drive fair into the left field corner. No chance for Bell to make a play. Around second, Hundley on his way to third. And we've got fan interference, I believe, or a fan tumbling out of the stands. And that's a break for San Francisco. That fan will probably be escorted from the premises if he doesn't touch it or runs in. And now Bruce Kim's going to argue with Ted Barrett, the crew chief here, and that's exactly what he's going to say. With a bad wheel, there's no way Bonds is going to cut that ball off in time to stop Hundley from scoring.
And this may be a good play by the fan, because that ball was going all the way to the wall, because you saw the angle Barry was going, and with that short fence there, the fan trying to reach out and falls over. And you're absolutely right, because they would have scored because Barry could not get to that ball. Now Ted Barrett, the umpire on the right, former boxer. And usually that is a judgment decision by the umpire. But you got to take into circumstances all the things happening, and that's Barry Bonds not able to get to the ball. And
yeah, he just can't run.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what Bruce Trim and Sandy Alomar was arguing about. But there's no way that you should penalize the visiting team for something the offensive team's fan. I mean, it should not be a way that they should be able to capitalize on that. And you saw the angle.
So Bruce Kim's argument falls upon deaf ears. And Roosevelt Brown is going to bat for Steve Smyth. Smyth went 3 innings, 7 runs. They were all earned, 6 hits. Steve struck out a couple of men, walked 1, and gave up 2 home runs. So here's Brown with runners at second and third. There's nobody out. He represents the tying run for the Cubs here. So maybe he can pop 1 into McCovey Cove and tie the game again at 7.
And Chip, earlier in your telecast, you talked about how good the Giants pitching staff is, but it's come from the bullpen. When you've got a guy to finish up like Rob Nin, and you see the troubles that they have had with the starting rotation.
And now security is going to escort that fan from the premises, as well they should.
The thing is, if it's a foul ball, then yeah, you go ahead and lean over, but you're going to fall over because the fence is so short. But when the ball is in play,
don't touch it.
Don't touch it, but it helps. It helps the home team.
They're either going to take him or they're going to take the ball. Let's see.
Okay, but you got to give up 1. Either you go or the ball goes. What's it going to be?
And if Bonds hits number 600, that guy's going to be fun. 2 balls, no strikes to Roosevelt Brown. And now time called. Rockies all over the Reds, 7-1. Diamondbacks have taken a 1-0 lead over Atlanta. That one in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Mets beat the Brewers tonight 5-1. Pedro Estacio fired a 3-hitter at Milwaukee this evening. Expos clobbered the Cardinals 10-1, as we told you. Phillies and Padres tied at 3 in the 6th. Pirates and Dodgers tied 1-1 in the 5th. Blue Jays beat the Mariners 14-12 today. 35 hits, 26 runs at Skydome combined. Off-speed pitch dances in. 3 balls and a strike. Angels clobbered the White Sox 11-2. Jared Washburn wins again. He's 14-3. I think he's won something like 14 of his last 15 outings, which is remarkable. Good hitter's pitch here. 3 balls and a strike. And he chops it toward first. Minor at the bag will surrender the run. Give Brown an RBI on a ground out. Hundley scores. Gonzalez to third. It's a 7-5 game. Hate to see Rosie make outs, but at least he made the right kind of out. No chance for a double play. Drove in a run, got the man over, and a fly ball could make it a 1-run game now.
And you see with that double that by Alex Gonzalez, I mean, it could prove detrimental because that would have been really a triple because Alex could have kept going because Barry would not get to the ball. Now that ground ball would have been the second run the Cubs would have scored this inning rather than the first run.
Runner at third for Bellhorn, and Mark takes the strike. Late call of the inside corner. Mark has struck out, walked, and scored today. He scored 25 runs in 24 games, batting first in the order. And that's what you want your leadoff man to do. Get on and get in.
But the thing is that Rosie Brown did. He was able because he hit the ball to the right side, get the runner in from third base, and also advance the runner from second to third in the form of Alex Gonzalez. And now it's up to Bellhorn to cash him in. I think this 7 runs may not be enough tonight.
Inside corner, strike 3. Jensen threw a laser beam. And it's up to Bill Miller, who's got a 2-hit game going to keep this frame alive.
Yeah, he pulled the plug on this. Only 86-mile-an-hour all-speed pitch. It's this change-up inside and around the inside corner. And Ryan Jennings with his second strikeout as he freezes Mark Bellhorn. Jensen.
But he's not out of the woods yet. Bellhorn watches Miller take a 2-for-2 game, and he drives that to right field. That's going to drop into the right field corner. Miller's got 3 hits. Sanders over quickly, and it's a 2-out double to make it a 7-6 game. Miller didn't leave his heart in San Francisco, but he's found his batting stroke. 7-6 the score.
And he has come back on a mission, on a tear. And you look at the corners of the Giants defense, and both guys are hobbled. Barry Bonds in left field, and now Reggie Sanders. You see this ball is hit right on the right field line, and Sanders can't get over there and cut it off because he's nursing a tender hamstring also.
So Bill Miller with a 3-hit game brings up Sosa, who drove in a run last time up. A high pop on the first pitch. Minor in foul ground has room, and the inning is over. The Cubs get 2, though. A pair of doubles, one from Miller, one from Gonzalez. They make it a 1-run game. 7-6 here in the 4th.
This fall, witness a man talk with the dead. Go beyond with James Van Prague.
Coming this fall, only on WGN.
Switched it with a little cross, brought it up in the air, looked like he paused. It just slammed it on his cat. It was over.
Steve Francis got the best above the rim game, period. Jay Rich, he got hops. He could jump out of the gym, man. He had to show everybody what time it is and what his name is, which is Jay Aura, man.
I don't think there's nobody else better.
Bingo.
The new Above the Rim collection by RBK. Play above the rim.
That's a wrap.
Here's to the people in the neighborhood. Here's to our heroes doing so much good.
McDonald's presents the All-American Summer. Get a big and tasty, a big juicy burger with lettuce and tomato for just 99 cents. And as an added bonus, make it a meal by adding medium fries and a medium soft drink for only $2.99.
Here's to the good old USA.
Coming
to the WB Friday this fall. He's a dad who's given his family everything.
The new house with no bars on the windows.
Birds flying over us instead of helicopters.
A dad who's always right.
Don't you ever forget that.
And so am I.
Greetings from Tucson.
Fridays this fall on WGN.
Joe Borowski is on to pitch for the Cubs. He'll face Ryan Jensen here in the 4th inning. Cubs have come back to make it a 1-run game. A wild affair at Pac Bell Park. 7-6 your score before the Giants bat. Let's step aside and tell you what's coming up on WGN.
Wife, kids, and a big loving family that won't leave. It's all about Ray, because everybody loves Raymond. Weeknights at 5:30 and 6:30 on WGN, Chicago's WB.
First pitch swinging is Jensen, and he grounds out to second. 1 pitch, 1 out. Let's see if Joe Borowski can continue his fine work out of the Cub bullpen. I tell you what, as poorly as the pen collectively has worked this year, you shudder to think what those numbers would be without the performance of Joe Borowski, who has a staff best 2.67 earned run average.
Staff. Yeah,
exactly.
Very good. But yes, Joe Borowski has been very good this year. A surprise coming out of making the team out of spring training because of Carlos Zambrano, and we got Cub fans everywhere in Yo Town. That's right, Oakland. We are close to Ebonics, huh?
Right across the bay.
The Bay Bridge.
You got it. Here's Kenny Lofton. And he pops the first pitch he sees up. Left side, Bill Miller has no play. And it's strike 1 to Lofton. Cleveland beat Tampa Bay 4-2 tonight. Charlie Nagy picked up the win. 7 innings. Jim Thome another home run. Tigers beat the Rangers 8-2. Steve Sparks beat Chanho Park. He threw a complete game. Carlos Pena, by the way, hit another home run for the Tigers. Royals beat the Yankees 6-2. Just 4 hits for the Yankees. Mike Mussina suffered the loss. Raul Ibanez, 2 more RBIs for Kansas City. Man, that guy's been on fire the last couple months. 0-2 to Lofton. Angels beat the White Sox 11-2. Danny Wright got shellacked. 7-10 his record. Washburn the winner. Tim Salmon drove in 5 for the visiting Anaheim Angels. Anaheim's now 67-45 on the year. Lofton toward left. Dalu played him that way, and it's foul by plenty.
Well, you always need a pick-me-up come end of July, beginning of August, and the dog days of August come around, and Kenny Lofton can be that igniter the Giants have not had in quite some time. And when you can hit the ball down the left field line, down the first base line, all over the park, and play real good defense, you can see the weaponry or the arsenal Kenny Lofton comes equipped with. Not the base stealer he once was, but then again, who is? Because something about stolen bases have almost become obsolete because of all the small ballparks. Everybody's looking for the 2- and 3-run homers rather than the stolen base or the bunting.
1-2 to Lofton. 7-6 Giants the lead. And that's over but low. 2-2. Well, it's simple why the Giants are where they are. 3rd in batting average, 2nd in ERA, 4th in defense, 1st in double play balls induced, 2nd best bullpen. Line to right. Sosa, good jump, still coming, dives, and did he hang on? Did he hang on? Yes, he did. Great catch by Sosa in right, and the jump was the key there.
Hey, Sammy has made himself into a very good defensive player, but it's all about the break you get on the ball. And usually that can make up for 2 or 3 steps if you get the good jump. Lofton with the line shot to right field, but Sammy was off and running from the get-go. You see him taking the good route to the ball, and everything in front of him. Good play, slamming Sammy.
Here's Aurelia. He singled, scored, and driven in a run tonight. Giants 7, Cubs 6. And a ball 0 to Aurelia. Cardinals were beaten 10-1 by the Expos. They're 1-6 since July 29th. That's when they got Scott Rowland. First time the Cardinals have lost 6 in a row since late June and early July of last season. Chuck Finley gave up 7 runs, 7 hits, and walked 2 men with the bases loaded tonight. So St. Louis,
yikes,
having some trouble. Houston was winning at last report, so the Astros, a team that many feel can catch St. Louis. If they hold on and win their ball game tonight, the Astros could be just 2 games out of first, and we'll see Houston when we return home.
Red, not the Reds, but the Cardinals also 6th in a row.
Back to the screen. Good cut by Aurelia. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the Astros did win 2-0. They beat the Marlins. Dave Malicki got the win. Lance Berkman drove in both runs. Billy Wagner got his 24th save of the game. The Astros have won 9 of 10 and are 17-8 since the All-Star break. They are getting hot at the right time, and Aurelia did not swing. Full count with Jeff Kent waiting on deck.
Chip, Barry Bonds told me something this afternoon that he believes the balls are a lot softer this year than they were last year. And he likes to cut the balls open to see what the inside of them are. And he said that he cut some open and like there's yarn all the way around.
Interesting theory. Home runs seemingly are down in baseball this year, but not so tonight. We've seen a bunch of them, 3 in fact. And Sammy Sosa's terrific catch in right helps keep the Giants off the scoreboard in the 4th.
If you like to play, go where the action is. The Dodge Summer Clearance Event, where you'll find the versatile Dodge Caravan with available power sliding doors and a power rear hatch. And Dodge's 770 powertrain limited warranty. Ford, Chevy, Honda, or Toyota don't match it. Plus, get a generous $3,000 cash allowance or 0% financing for 60 months on Caravan. America's best-selling minivan. Now playing at the Dodge Summer Clearance Event.
Do you have one in aquamarine?
Whether you're new to the family or were there from the beginning, this is the year to watch. Don't miss the most highly anticipated premiere of the season, The Sopranos, only on HBO. Call 1-888-4-BEST-TV to receive this great offer on any AT&T digital value package. Sign up today and you'll get HBO with groundbreaking, critically acclaimed original programming. Cinemax with exclusive movie premieres and the most movies on premium TV. Plus local channels, sports, and news with AT&T Digital Cable. Call 1-888-4-BEST-TV to receive any AT&T Digital Value Package at $10 off per month for 3 months. Plus order HBO and receive Cinemax free until the end of 2002. This offer expires soon, so call now.
This portion of Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN is brought to you by the 4,000 CarQuest Auto Parts stores across North America. You'll find it at CarQuest.
Friday on WCIU, the Sox swing deep as they get ready to reel in the big fish. Mariners. Sox versus Mariners. Friday at 7 on WCIU.
Cubs are within a run in a slugfest in San Francisco. Already 14 hits after 4 innings by these two teams and 13 runs with 3 long home runs hit, including one by Barry Bonds, number 599 in his career. Here's McGriff, who hit his first home run in this ballpark his last time up. That tied the game at 4.
3-run shot. Run number 24, RBI 76, 77, and 78.
Jensen has not been all that impressive here tonight for San Francisco. Spotted a 4-run lead in the first, a 7-4 lead in the 4th before giving part of that back. He's got to get through this 5th with the lead to qualify for the win. And 2 balls and a strike to him. Tomorrow it's Kerry Wood and Russ Ortiz. It'll be a Fox Sports Net Chicago game. Then Joe and I will have the series wrap up on Thursday afternoon. Matt Clemente and Levon Hernandez wrap up the season series with the Giants. Cubs took 2 of 3 from them back in Chicago earlier this year. And there's another rope. Deep to right. That one's in McCovey Cove, but it's long foul. And you don't see the same kind of burst of energy for folks trying to get the enemy of long balls.
He's got a scuba suit on. He's ready, isn't he? This ball is crushed down the right field line. Unfortunately, foul. That was an impressive blow by Fred McGriff. Wow.
We got kayaks out there. We got motorboats. We've got sailboats. We had one of those float by a second ago.
I saw a gondola out there earlier.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Guy was looking for Venice.
And Fred down on strikes. Couldn't stop himself. And Jensen has his third strikeout of the night. One away here in the fifth. You'll see a ferry boat or two out there as well before the evening's done. One away.
Breaking ball in the dirt, and Fred couldn't hold up. Jensen got the pitch he wanted. You see Fred way out in front. That's why, go back to early in the ball game, he had a 2-0 count. He threw a breaking ball, another breaking ball to McGriff. And then he tried to sneak a fastball by McGriff. McGriff calmly placed it over the right field wall, but this time he learned a little bit. That's the thing about you have to learn. Came out with the breaking ball rather than the fastball.
Alu has singled and has grounded out to third. 7-6 Giants with the lead. Ball one to Alu. Giants have always been an incredible second half team. Since 2000, their win percentage after the All-Star break is 61%.
Chip, they've always been a second half ball club for some odd reason.
I mean, you were part of it. I mean, in '98 certainly, but what is it about Dusty Baker that gets these guys going after the break?
The thing is, he utilizes everybody in that dugout, and he finds a way to put them in situations where they will succeed. You don't always agree with them, because there were times when I was not playing. I didn't agree with that, but they all came through. I mean, a situation in Colorado, the next to last game of the season, and and I'm hitting about 400, and I come to the ballpark. I'm not playing. I'm like, well, why not? I'm not playing in Colorado. And he said, look, Javier's had good success off this pitcher. He said, let him play. I said, oh, okay, I don't agree with it. Javier has 2 home runs that day. We win the ball game. So he puts you in situations where he knows that you can succeed, and that's why he gets the most out of all his players.
Moises didn't think he swung at that ball, but his opinion doesn't count. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Johnny B. Baker. You see Moises. That could have went either way, but it went the wrong way for Cubs and Moises.
2-2. Notice that Dusty is not wearing his trademark wristbands.
And there's the reason why. Only when he wears short sleeves. The long sleeves, he does not wear them. But short sleeves, he said day game, maybe he'll have them all.
And today, when you were talking to him, I mean, he pulled up those shirt sleeves. You could see the tan lines where those wristbands are, man. He's
farmer's tan.
Yeah, absolutely. Strike 3 to Alu. 2 up, 2 down. Well, Jensen may not be long for this game, but he's pitching this 5th inning like he does have a 1-run lead. That's the story tonight. 7-6 your score for Patterson.
He's finding a way to sneak that slider in there when the guys are thinking either curveball or the fastball. Low break right at the tail end, and that got Moises over the top of that breaking ball, that slider.
Corey's hit into a double play and grounded out. And there's that big swing you were talking about earlier. Strike 1.
And Corey has to find a way. I mean, you take a look at his swing and then look at a guy like Barry Bonds, who's bigger and stronger than Corey Patterson, and Barry Bonds' swing is nowhere near that. And that's what Corey has to find a way to cut down on, because he swings too much with his body and not with his hands.
Part of the learning curve for young players, though.
Yeah. It's a big learning curve, but Corey has the makeup, he has the ability, the athleticism to make those adjustments, and it's a learning process.
Don't remember if he's been asked this question or if it's been answered, but would he be a prime candidate for winter ball with Sandy Alomar for example, even though he's played a long season?
No. Once you really establish yourself in the big leagues, you know, after your first full year, and last year playing winter ball was a good idea, but now, no. This is when you go back in the offseason, take the time off, and you can fine-tune your skills.
Jensen strikes out the side in the 5th inning. Big long swing takes care of Patterson. And stay tuned. Barry Bonds, first crack at 600s coming up next.
Ford authorized clearance. 0% for 60 months is back. With cash back from $1,500 to $3,500. Or 0% APR on Focus, Taurus, Explorer, F-Series, Windstar, and more. That could save you over $6,300 in interest on a 2002 Windstar. 0% on Focus, Taurus, Explorer, F-Series, Windstar, ZX2, and more. So get to your local Ford store today.
They seem like big portobello mushrooms.
They don't really have sharp teeth.
The eye is just kind of...
Stingrays.
Somewhere between swimming with stingrays, parasailing, and the rock wall, it hits you. This is way more than a cruise. See for yourself at RoyalCaribbean.com. Get out there.
Now, tell me what this is.
Toefish, very high in amino acids. It tastes like fish.
And what's this?
Kung chi nuts from the rainforest, dipped in tahini.
That must be what gives it that earthy look.
How do guys survive that first date? With a Wendy's Big Bacon Classic, 3 strips of bacon, cheese, and lots of toppings, you'll be ready for anything.
Dessert?
Wendy's Big Bacon Classic. It's better here. Remember, Wendy's pickup windows open late, so you can eat great even late.
We should learn French. Why would we want to learn French? French.
Introducing Mega Millions, the new big game from the Illinois Lottery. Jackpots start at 10 million. Play Mega Millions.
Barry Bonds is in the on-deck circle here in the Giants' half of the 5th inning. It's 7-6 San Francisco, and Jeff Kent will come to the plate first against Joe Borowski. Kent tonight has been on base twice. He singled, walked, and scored 2 on the Giants' runs. And he has found a home in that number 3 spot in the batting order, hitting over .415 ahead of Barry Bonds. Not surprising. Would much rather face Kent than Bonds. This guy is no slouch either offensively, with 21 home runs as a second baseman. At the knees on the outside corner, strike 1 from Borowski, who's in relief for Steve Smyth. Smyth went 3 innings, 7 runs, 6 hits, a walk, 2 strikeouts, and a couple of home runs.
And because of the success of Jeff Kent in that 3 slot, first base is always occupied now. That's what Barry is very familiar with. He was saying that the other day, Sean Dunson, former Cub, said they even walked him with guys on 1st and 3rd. They intentionally walked him. So it doesn't necessarily have to be the first base is occupied. Wasn't it Buck Showalter walked him?
For the bases loaded once.
Bases loaded.
Hey, you got to minimize the damage. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 9 o'clock in the Pacific time zone, and that missed outside. 2-2.
Yeah, 11 o'clock back in the Central time zone. See, we're in the bottom of the 5th, so got a couple more hours left. Hang in there with us.
It's been an offensive game. 2-2 to Kent. Late swing, and he pops it back out of play foul.
Award-winning WGN News will follow us after the game, and I know they'll be hanging out there. And if Dan Roman's doing sports, he's probably taking a look.
2-2. Popped up out of play. Our thanks to the good folks at Stats Inc. They have emailed us a list of players at or close to the 1,500 RBI mark and are not in the Hall of Fame. And it's a pretty surprising list. Eddie Murray, Cal Ripken Jr., he's going to go in. Harold Baines with 1,628. Dave Parker, as Kent pops that one into right field. Parker was 7 shy of 1,500 in his career. And, of course, Barry Bonds with 1,610 coming into play tonight. And here we go. First crack at 600.
Here's why he's one crack away, because it was 599 back in the third inning. A 3-run shot, 432 feet for 599. And, yeah, you can go nuts.
So again, out they go with the special baseballs. Out goes the security in right. In the right field arcade area to see if Bonds yanks it down the line for number 600. His proud papa looking on tonight. The first pitch from Borowski is outside. Now recall, Bonds hit his 50th home run off Borowski last season. So another milestone approaching here tonight. Want to know your count. Home run cut, and he got it past him. Strike one, and that's where Bonds wants it, up so he can elevate.
Boy, the thing is, Barry Bonds with 32 home runs and 71 RBIs. You take a look. I mean, look at that. Is a short, quick swing, and he does not miss by much. That's why he's very confident on the inside pitch or the outside pitch, because he has both sides of the plate covered.
He is right on top of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. Low, and look at the flash bulbs pop with every pitch. This big sellout crowd in San Francisco wants to capture Bonds' historic home run cut for all time. Number 599 went into the seats in right center field last time up. The 2-1 from Borowski. He had another vicious rip, 2-2. And Bobby Bonds looked like he said, I thought he had that one.
Well, the one thing is, there is no fooling Barry Bonds, and not too many times will you outguess him. I mean, he really has to get himself out. You got to throw a ball on the spot that you're looking for, but what that spot is, no one seems to know.
The 2-2 pitch now. Low. Ball 3. Again, Bonds' incredible eye, his incredible patience, forces a pitch of decision for this at bat. The 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 outside corner, and Barry knew it. Borowski with an outstanding piece of pitching takes care of Bonds for out number 2.
Well, Joe Borowski, round 1 of Joe Borowski, because he got Barry Bonds on a backdoor breaking ball. Barry was probably looking middle in, but right here just got outguessed here. A good breaking ball outside corner. And look how short that stride is, and Barry knew it. He said, yeah, okay, tip your hat.
So here's Santiago, bases clear in the San Francisco 5th. Borowski continues his outstanding relief work for the Cubs. He's retired all 5 men he's faced to this point. And a ball to Benito Santiago.
Notice how quiet he got. It's like, okay, Barry, now everybody else, let's rest up for the next time he comes back up.
High hopper up the middle. Bellhorn can't get to it. Santiago 1 for 3. And Reggie Sanders will hit with 2 men out. Before he does, let's pause for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN-TV, Chicago's WB.
with former Giant Joe Carter. Chip Carey from Pacific Bell Park. We were marveling at this place before the start of this bottom of the fifth inning. It is just a magnificent privately financed stadium in downtown San Francisco. They have done a remarkable job here. And gone are the days of cold and windy and dreary Candlestick Park, where on a night like this it would have been almost intolerable to play baseball. Here the temperature much more tolerable and the wind's not much of a factor anymore.
I wonder if anyone's ever hit that glove out there in left center field yet.
No, not yet. It's 501 feet away out there. And they do have a contest where a lucky fan before every game is chosen. If someone hits a 500-foot home run, they win $1 million.
What if the glove catches it? Does it have to catch it?
No.
As long as he hits it somewhere, huh?
As long as it's close.
Yeah, I wonder why they didn't put that in right field. Huh? Yeah. And I'm sure Barry Bonds would have hit it by now.
In the daytime, this place is just beautiful with the Bay Area. You can see the city of Oakland across behind the glove, as it were.
Now, is that just for home team?
Just for the home team.
Okay.
1-0 to Sanders. Sanders tonight has homered, a 2-run shot in the first inning, his 17th of the year. So he's 1 for 2 with a run scored. Three balls, no strikes. Sanders laid off. Giants with 18 home runs in their last 7.5 games. They played long ball here tonight, and they've got a 1-run lead of 7-6. Damon Minor waits next, and 4 straight puts Sanders on, and Minor looks for his 11th home run.
Joe Borowski got by the 2 toughest guys in the order, and Jeff Kent and Barry Bonds. Base hit to San Diego, and now a base on balls to Reggie Sanders. And when you're in 7-6 lead against this explosive Giant offense, Minor is taking over for J.T. Snow at first base, and that's not a easy task, because when you've got a Gold Glove over there, and J.T. Snow is very tough to take away defense to add offense.
Giants have done it, though, and Minor with a wide open batting stance goes to work. How do you attack a guy with a stance like that?
Well, the thing is, a lot of times when you see a guy with an open stance like that, the first response is Larry Rothschild's going to come out. The first thing you think of as a pitcher, he doesn't like the ball inside, and you have to be able to get the ball inside, because the guy wants to open up and see the ball with both of his eyes. The thing about that is, you look at Chris Steins, the way he sets up, because he's always moving. The thing they're very vulnerable to is the all-speed pitch, because it's all timing. And what you want to do is disrupt their timing. Fastballs in, and then occasionally throw them a changeup inside, because it throws their timing off.
Long meeting now. And Larry Rothschild with a few parting shots at Jay Clem, the home plate umpire.
And they're still going back and forth.
Chad Zerbe strides down to the Giant bullpen. He'll start to loosen up as the pitcher spot in the hole here in the 5th inning. Can't argue balls and strikes, but as long as you don't show up the umpire, you can get in a few parting shots on your way back from the mound. That's way outside to Minor. 2-0 the count.
Yeah, there's a way you go about doing that. But if you got the umpire following you back to the dugout, you know you're in trouble.
By the way, there was a story today on the wire about that Dan Iasagna saga in Cincinnati when Gagne hit Dunn in a 2-run game. And Gagne went berserk and was ejected along with Jim Tracy. I've never seen this before. Major League Baseball came out and said the umpire made a mistake. Shouldn't have thrown him out. And consequently, no suspensions for Gagne. No suspensions for Iasagna either. But if you're going to see players and managers criticized, nice to see the game say, hey, the umpire made a mistake. They're human. As long as everybody admits it, you move on.
Right, exactly. And that's what you'd like to see as a player. I mean, there have been times in a situation where the umpire calls a bad pitch, and you go to the plate. The next time up, you say, you know, was that pitch a little bit outside? He goes, yeah, I missed it. And so as a hitter, you go, well, appreciate it. Thank you. All right. At least I know I wasn't crazy up there. But when they come out and say, no, it was a good pitch, then you know something's wrong. Just admit when you're wrong and go on.
2-2. Ground ball toward first, but foul. Minor will swing again. Zerbe up for the Giants. Flash Gordon getting up for the Cubs. Borowski having some two-out trouble here in the 5th inning. Giants trying to pad a 7-6 lead. Minor requests timeout. Bell is on deck. 2-2. Full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes. So Santiago and Sanders will be running here with a 3-2 count to the young Giant first baseman, Damon Minor.
One thing Joe Borowski is trying to do with Minor. Minor likes the ball kind of middle of the plate up in the zone a little bit. He's trying to keep the ball down.
Runners go, and it's popped up shallow right. Bellhorn drifting back. And he calls off everyone and makes the catch, and Borowski escapes the 5th. He'll hit 3rd, we suppose, in the 6th inning with San Francisco leading by a skinny run at home.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
We can't take him to the coast with us. You mind?
The coast, huh?
Yeah. This is where we're gonna be. There's his acupuncturist.
Hey, I've never taken care of a weasel before.
It's a ferret.
If you guys have to do duties, just let me know. Have a great time. See ya.
Why wait? You can fly Southwest Airlines from Chicago Midway to select cities in the Midwest for just $34 when you purchase by August 19th. So get packing. Hey.
You are now free to move about the country.
Join the Cadillac Summer Jam with this attractive offer.
Honey?
Go away.
What? Did I forget your birthday?
No.
Our anniversary. Did you find that thing I buried? Did I insult your mother?
No.
Well, what did I do wrong?
You live next door, Mr. Oliver.
Haven't been home much? Slow down with Boston Market. And now get a quarter dark rotisserie chicken meal with 2 sides, cornbread, and a regular drink, all for the incredible low price of $3.99. Boston Market. Slow down.
This copyright telecast is presented by the authority of the Chicago Cubs and may not be reproduced nor retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs.
7-6 the score at the end of 5 innings of play. Joe Borowski's worked a couple of scoreless innings. And we'd like to remind you, friends, this Wednesday, August 14th, the first 15,000 fans get a Charlie Brown Pez dispenser with candy compliments of Fox Sports Net. This exclusive limited edition is only available at Wrigley Field and includes a commemorative card. The Cubs host the Astros at 1:20. And for tickets, call 1-800-THE-CUBS. Here's Hundley. Todd's been on base twice. And he'll be 1 for 2 as he grounds back to the mound. Jensen's retired 5 straight now. 1 up, 1 down in the 6th for Alex Gonzalez. Alex 1 for 2 with a double. Remember, that was that fan interference play back in the 4th inning that cost the Cubs a run for the moment. Hundley should have scored. Alex would have been to third. And with Rosie Brown coming up to pinch hit, his ground ball would have scored Gonzalez. It turned out fine as you see Andy Garcia, Hollywood superstar, at the park tonight.
Always get Garcia and Nicolas Cage. Look at my favor a little bit, mixed up a little bit, but great actors.
Yes,
great
sir.
movies. Ocean's 11.
I haven't seen that one.
You haven't seen Ocean's 11? Oh, man. You are missing a great movie.
Austin Powers 3 is more my speed, kid.
No,
but Austin Powers 2 is the best one.
I guarantee you will like Ocean's 11.
All right.
He is very good in that movie.
He's good in just about all of them.
Yes.
Popped up a mile high on the infield. Minor with a check of his positioning. Makes the one-handed grab. 6 up, 6 down. And Borowski's spot is due. Let's see if the Cubs go to the bench. And apparently they will. Chad Hermanson will make his Cub debut.
Chad Hermanson coming over from Pittsburgh. Was originally traded for Darren Lewis, but upon the news, Darren Lewis said, you know what, I'm going home. I'm going to retire.
Had enough.
Yeah, and so he was ultimately traded for the PTBL, the player to be named later.
Another former Cub at the ballpark today, Glenn Allen Hill. Saw him at the team hotel this afternoon. And he's at the ballpark again tonight. Nobody brought out any rubber spiders or anything like that, but he looks great. One of the great sluggers to wear a Cub uniform. Of course, Hill hit that home run on top of the apartment building and left. And he says to this day that was still the most perfect swing he's ever made in baseball anywhere. He said he never felt the ball make contact with the bat. That's how hard it was hit. As Hermanson rolls it foul for a strike. Hermanson, a phenom with the Pittsburgh Pirates that just never really panned out at the major league level. The Cubs are hoping that a change of scenery will result in a change of results for him. Still a very young player, just 24, 25 years of age. And Hermanson's a guy that could be a 4th outfielder. Again, with a young player in Patterson in center field, you might see Hermanson play some against the tough lefties the rest of this season. Out of play for a strike, 0-2.
7 home runs and 15 RBIs on the year for Chad Hermanson. Well, you know, he has a little power. Like you say, he was not getting too much playing time over there in the Buccos outfield. Usually when you have numbers like that, you don't get too many opportunities.
1-2 the count. 7-6 Giants. We are in the 6th. Jensen settling down. He set down 6 consecutive Cub hitters. And that one roped foul to left. Hey, nice catch. He must be from Park Ridge, as Ernie Harwell might say. And Santiago out for a little pep talk here.
All of a sudden, not Chad Hermanson, but Ryan Jensen, all of a sudden is getting that breaking ball over the zone, Chip, and he's keeping it low, and he's throwing the Cubs off balance. Before he was getting behind trying to find that breaking ball, and coming with the mediocre fastball, and that's when he was getting tattooed. And now he's found it.
He struck out 6 men. He's retired the last 7. And the Cubs are done in order in the 6th. 7-6. Giants have the lead.
Wow. That is so cool.
Can he do it again?
Sure. Go get one, boy.
Okay, so where does he get him?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Get down!
With a great taste that won't fill you up and never let you down.
Ooh, that's a first.
Make it a Bud Light.
Get 0% APR financing for 5 years on most 2002 Saturn S Series. For restrictions, see your Saturn retailer.
The 255 horsepower Nissan Maxima.
Flash Gordon is the third Cub pitcher of the night, and he'll face Bell, the pitcher's spot, and then Kenny Lofton for San Francisco. Flash still a work in progress, coming back from that torn teres muscle in his right shoulder. Still hasn't been able to really extend that arm yet, and you'll know he's back when that big nose-to-toes breaking ball starts snapping off. Right now he's got an okay breaking ball, but hasn't been as 12-6 as we've seen in years past from him.
And what that does, it cuts the opposition down as to what they may be looking for in certain situations. When you don't have that great breaking ball, now all of a sudden the hitter's going to say, look, I can look for his fastball and still be able to hit his breaking ball. Well, when he had the 12-6 breaking ball, you couldn't do that. You couldn't sit there and swing at the, look for the breaking ball and swing the fastball. And right there, good example, a decent breaking ball just up in the zone, but normally the ball does not stay up there.
But he does get Bell on strikes. And now we'll see Pedro Feliz batting for Jensen. Jensen goes 6 innings, 6 runs earned, 8 hits. He struck out 6 and walked 2, as well as giving up a home run to Fred McGriff. So Feliz, a slugging third baseman, is the first Giant hitter off the bench. And Chad Zerbe, part of that very, very solid Giant bullpen, is up again. Feliz just 25 years young. Last year in 94 games with the Giants, hit 7 home runs, knocked in 22. And they're hoping that this kid can grow into the answer for them at third base.
Yeah, they get quite a bit of production off their bench because Dusty Baker utilizes every single player. They may get 3 or 4 games a week where they're playing. That keeps those guys fresh.
Top of the Cub order will come up in the 7th. Elhorn, Miller, and Sosa. With Dusty Baker's Giants ahead by a run. These are critical times for San Francisco. Yes, there are 8 weeks left in the season, but San Francisco playing at home has to take advantage on this homestand. The Cubs are coming in, the Pirates are coming in. 2 losing teams in opposition. These games can't let go because you know you're going to have to battle the Diamondbacks, the Dodgers.
Right. That last month of the season.
Yeah, down the stretch.
And really the last 2 weeks of the season as they end up against Houston, but before then LA, Milwaukee, San Diego, and then Houston.
Well, their last stand might be made at the end of this month. They go to Arizona for 3, August 30th, 31st, and then September 1st. They then come back home for a big homestand. They've got 4 with the Diamondbacks, 2 with the Rockies, and 3 with the Dodgers. So they'll know their fate probably before the final 2 weeks of the season are upon us. 2-2 the count. Lined into right center field. Let's see if Sammy can cut it off. He can. Pedro Feliz with a pinch hit single. Big insurance run on against Gordon in the 6th inning.
And that's the type of production that Dusty Baker has been getting from even the young guys on the bench. These young guys, they come ready to play because they know they've got to be ready because Dusty will put them in at any given time. And usually he'll pick the right number. And Feliz calmly drops a single in the right center field. Dust Johnny B. Baker, toothpick and all.
Here's Lofton. Lofton tripled and scored in the 4-run Giant first. Cubs came roaring right back in the third, though, with 4 themselves to tie the game. Then the Cubs watch the Giants take a 7-4 lead on a towering 3-run homer by Barry Bonds tonight. That's number 599 lifetime. And Bonds lurking here in this 6th inning. Strike 1 to Lofton.
This is the Giants' first chance to see Flash Gordon, although Kenny Lofton earlier with the White Sox. But this is where his reputation can succeed him because they're thinking about that that breaking ball.
Driven a long way the other way, but playable for Moises in left. And back to first will go Feliz. And Rich Aurelio digs in with 2 out. .36 RBIs for Aurelio. Again, he missed a lot of playing time with elbow surgery to take out the bone chips.
Yeah, and last year 37 home runs, 97 RBIs, so a far cry from what he did last year, but because of the bone chips and the injuries, I mean, that's a part of the game, but they find a way to patch up the infield, patch up the outfield. Brian Savian, the GM, making a few trades here and there, and they come out on top.
Aurelio, one of those trade acquisitions, came over from Texas for John Burkett in 1994. And Aurelio, an all-star shortstop, has led the National League in homers and RBIs in each of the last 3 years. That won't happen this season with
unless he goes on tear,
which could happen. 0-1 the count. High and tight backs him up. Aurelio with 206 hits last season. Only a handful of men have ever had more in a single year than Aurelio. Fred Lindstrom, the all-time Giant record holder, with 231 hits back in 1928. Among more modern players, Willie Mays with 208, Don Mueller with 212 in 1954. Aurelio is going to fly out to right, and Gordon works a scoreless 6th inning. And it's a 7-6 game. Cubs will send the top of their order up against Chad Zerbe when we return.
Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Pepsi, the joy of Pepsi.
Find the seams. It's the splitter. No, it's the high heat. Did I lock my keys in the car? Is that Sosa? Going for my Pepsi. Sammy.
The 1-liter Big Slam from Pepsi. More of the taste you go for.
Does a pair beat a straight?
Yes.
What? Gina, 3?
Tina.
What? She's been sending me pictures.
On the phone?
Pictures of what? Things she can do. I'm out.
When a wireless phone lets you take and send pictures,
That ought to do it.
that's M Life from AT&T Wireless.
Ford authorized clearance. 0% for 60 months is back. With cash back from $1,500 to $3,500. Or 0% APR on Focus, Taurus, Explorer, F-Series, Windstar, and more. That can save you over $6,900 in interest on a 2002 Explorer. 0% on Focus, Taurus, Explorer, F-Series, Windstar, ZX2, and more. So get to your local Ford store today.
This portion of Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN is brought to you by your local Ford store. Quality people, quality products.
Top of the Cub order greets a new Giant pitcher. It's left-hander Chad Zerbe, who's developed into one of the best setup men from the left side in the National League. He's got very impressive numbers, and this is his 39th appearance. 47 innings, only 15 earned runs. Zerbe called up from AAA in April and has been on quite a run. Jason Christensen has been injured much of the season for the Giants, and Zerbe's filled that very important role quite ably for Dusty Baker. He'll force Bellhorn to hit from the right side now. And he misfires outside. Jensen went 6 innings, 8 hits, 6 runs earned. He walked 2, struck out 6. But did work the requisite number of innings to qualify for his 11th win of the season. Cubs hoping to spoil those plans as Bellhorn drives that to right center field. Sanders long run. He's not going to get there. Mark Bellhorn's got himself a triple. Tying run 90 feet away here in the 7th inning. You can split a gap. You're going to run forever, for none of the Giant outfielders run as well as they have in years past, especially Bonds and Sanders with those tender hamstrings.
Right. You have problems on the corners here in Pac Bell Park with the left field and right field, and Zerbe does the turn over a little change up there, and Mark Bellhorn rips it in the right center field, and you can see gingerly Reggie Sanders going for the ball, but Mark Bellhorn turned it on. David Bell tried to deke him a little bit, but Dave Bialas told him to get down, and now 90 feet away.
Miller, a perfect night. He's 3 out of 3, and he's biting the hand that once fed him. Of course, man. Miller, a former San Francisco Giant. Cubs got him for Tim Worrell, you'll recall. And that was a trade that Dusty Baker really didn't want to make. He really misses Bill Miller and what he meant to this team.
Well, and you know, they thought that Rich Davis was going to be the heir apparent.
Hot shot off the glove of Aurelia, and a run is in. We are tied 7-7. We'll see how that's scored. E6, and it was right at Aurelia. No RBI, but Zerbe surrenders the lead. So a no decision for Jensen, and Smyth is off the hook.
Well, this was a low line drive, and Bill Miller has been on every single pitch. This ball had a little mustard on it. And as it went down to Rich Aurelia, he was caught really in between, Chip, because he thought maybe the ball may bounce. He wasn't quite sure because the ball was right ground level. And it didn't take a bounce, but it took a wicket bounce in midair off of his wrist. And Bill Miller having a good homecoming here back in the first. Base hit to left field, and in the third, base hit to right field. He ended up scoring, and then the double with 2 outs to score Alex Gonzalez back in the 4th. And there, this last one, just a low line drive off the wrist of Rich Aurelia. This Wago is all knotted up.
So Zerbe will depart. He faced 2 men, didn't retire a single one of them. And now flame-throwing right-hander Felix Rodriguez will come in. He's been a little erratic lately. And Sosa, McGriff, and Alou will try to put the Cubs back in front here in the 7th.
Yeah?
I'm sorry, I was looking for the surprise party.
This is it. Quick, hurry up and hide.
Okay.
Quiet, you ruin everything.
Bring a box of Dunkin' Donuts to any occasion. Get $1 off a dozen donuts or 50 Munchkins donut whole treats with your losing lottery ticket.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, I'm still in the car.
10 minutes, an hour? I've got no idea. This is ridiculous.
Can't wait to get your new Jetta? And with the offers going on now, why would you?
Barry Bonds has homered tonight. Let's see if Sammy Sosa can turn the trick as well. Sammy 1 for 3, and he'll face Felix Rodriguez, who's coming back from a couple of weeks of real poor work out of the bullpen. He's fired 8 consecutive scoreless innings in the last 5 times out. And here at Pacific Ballpark, this kid's been awfully tough. 10-2 with a 2.00 career earned run average. This is his 100th appearance in this ballpark, and he'll face a man that's owned him in their major league head-to-head matchup. Sammy Sosa 5 for 8 with 3 home runs against this guy.
Boy, you kind of wonder why Dusty Baker brought him in to face Sammy, because Dusty's always looked at the numbers, and the numbers don't speak too well for Rodriguez. But he goes with a hunch, and that's what you like about Dusty. He'll go on a hunch.
He is, for lack of a better way of comparison, the Giants' version of Kyle Farnsworth. Throws just as hard. Not nearly as muscular, but he's been a terrific setup man for them. Giant bullpen, very good. Second best bullpen in the National League behind Atlanta, but they've hiccuped tonight. Chad Zerbe's given up 1 run. Bill Miller, his responsibility also at first base on the Rich Aurelia error. Each team with a misplay tonight. And the Cubs have tied it up at 7 in the 7th inning.
And the Giants with one of the best closers in all of the game. Rob Nin looking for his 300th save. So a lot of things can happen. 600 home runs, 300 saves.
Let's hope that doesn't.
Yeah, exactly.
Outside to Sosa, ball 2. Make it ball 3 now. 3-0 the count. Rodriguez wanted that pitch. He's been a little erratic again in the last couple of weeks.
Well, you think he didn't know what the numbers are in this matchup, and he is very careful to Sammy Sosa, but you can't pitch him too careful because you got Fred McGriff coming up behind him, and now you put the go-ahead run in scoring position with no outs here if you walk him.
And that's exactly what he did. So there are 2 men on. There's nobody out. Fred McGriff, who parked a 3-run homer in the 3rd inning. A chance to put the Cubs in front. Friday, the first 20,000 fans at Wrigley get a Topps 2002 Sammy Sosa baseball card, compliments of AT&T Wireless and CLTV. This authentic reprint's available exclusively at Wrigley Field. The Cubs will play the Diamondbacks. 2:20, first pitch, and good tickets still available. Here's McGriff, 1 for 3 on the day. He passed Billy Williams on the RBI charts with a towering 3-run homer to right in his second at bat. And now the odds swing to the Cubs' favor. Left-handed hitter, right-handed pitcher. And a base hit could score Miller. This also a stretch in the game where if the Giants had the lead, Dusty Baker might consider taking a Sanders out of the game and putting in either a Tom Goodwin or a Sean Dunston, who can run much more effectively, but he needs their bats right now.
Right. And he's not going to take out Barry Bonds in a game that's tied up or up a run or down a run, unless he knows he has a chance that the game is already won.
Outside corner, good pitch, strike 2. Well, this is the kind of game that if the Giants don't make the playoffs, this is one of those games they'll look back on at the end of the season and say, we had a 4-0 lead after 1 with a rookie on the mound and couldn't seal the deal. So give the Cubs credit. Game 1 of a 6-game road trip against a real tough opponent in their ballpark. They've battled back to a 7-7 draw. He missed by much.
Yes.
When you come in and walk people, you're not going to get the close calls.
Jay Clem saying this ball is down. Yeah, it's a little bit down. Yeah, it's right about the knees, but he caught it down.
1-2 to McGriff. Could he hit another home run here in the 7th inning? Crowd hushes as Fred hits that one out of play. That was a laser beam. Here's the home run earlier.
Back in the 3rd inning. 2 guys on, a 4-1 ball game, 3-2 pitch. And that ball's not coming back. Home run number 24.
He hit it so hard the sun went down.
Sure.
Just a bit.
Sure.
1-2. Miller at second. Sammy at first. 1 run in to tie the game. Alou waiting next with Patterson in the hole. Nobody out. Little chopper right side and through. Miller around third. They'll put the brakes on. Sanders came up in a big hurry with the sore hamstring and all. And now it's a golden chance for the Cubs to take the lead here. Bases are loaded and there's nobody out.
Boy, this ball was probably a foot outside, and Fred McGriff does something he doesn't normally do. Watch this. He goes out there and he pulls this off-speed pitch here because Benito Santiago is way outside, and you can see Damian Minor, as the ball gets past Sammy, not able to come up with it, and a good job of hitting there by Fred McGriff.
Dave Righetti, the pitching coach, out. In this 7th inning, both Zerbe and Rodriguez have faced 2 men, and all 4 of the men those 2 relievers have faced combined have reached base. So we've raved about how well the Giants bullpen has pitched. Not so tonight in game 1 of this big weekend series. 7-7 in the 7th, bases loaded with nobody out. And before Moises Alou bats, we'll step aside and tell you what's coming up on WGN.
6 friends twice a day, 5 times a week makes for countless laughs. Join the Central Perk Gang and hang with your friends. Weeknights at both 6 and 10 on WGN, Chicago's WB.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Tuesday's not the weekend, is it?
No, it seems like a Friday, Saturday, you know.
Sorry.
I said Sunday earlier, so.
It's a long year.
And right now, it's been a long time for the Giants as they find themselves Rodriguez behind the count, bases loaded, nobody out, 1 run already in. And a 7-7 ball game here in the top of the 7th.
And this will be the last man Rodriguez faces. Or if Alou reaches, they've got Brohan up in the pen for Patterson and then Hundley. 1 ball, no strikes to Alou. Swing and a drive. Right center field. That'll get Miller home. Sanders over quickly. He makes the catch. Sammy will tag from second and move to third. Heads up base running, and the Cubs have the lead. Alou's 41st RBI unties the game. Charge that run. 1 of 2 to Chad Zerbe tonight.
Moises Alou getting the job done, not just 1 way, but 2 ways. He gets the guys in from third base, and the fly ball is deep enough. He gets a fastball to the middle of the plate. And you can see Alou lifting the ball up, uppercutting. That's what you need. You need the fly ball. So fly ball, get him in, sacrifice fly, one of the most boringest plays in baseball. But it's effective, and they got Sammy to second base. And now see if Corey can tack on some more to this lead. Or Sammy to third base.
Corey tonight 0 for 3. Giants looking for double play. And there's that big swing and a miss. 8-7. Cubs have the lead. And our producer of Cubs baseball on WGN is Pete Toma. Tonight's game directed by Skip Ellison. Mark Brady is our associate producer. And the executive producer of WGN Sports is Bob Borwald. An historic night so far in San Francisco. The Cubs are trying to spoil the party. Strike 2 to Corey. Barry Bonds hit his 599th home run. Fred McGriff homered in his 41st different major league ballpark.
To tie Ellis Burks.
And the Cubs have come back from 4-0 7-4 deficits to take a lead tonight.
And that is impressive, and that's what you want from your ball club. Never give up. And it seems like the energy that has been created with Barry Bonds here in a hostile ballpark for the Cubs, they have thrived and seem to be energized by that enthusiasm from the crowd and from what Barry Bonds is trying to accomplish.
Here's a spot where you just need contact. Don't want to strike out. Hundley waiting on deck. Big poppers are due up for the Giants in their half of the 7th inning. 0-2 to Corey. And he does make contact. A sky-high fly ball to right. Again, Sanders sets himself. There's the catch. Sosa will tag, and he will score. It's a 9-7 game. Good at bat by Patterson. McGriff holds it first. And the Cubs do have a nice 2-run lead. Back-to-back sac flies.
Felix Rodriguez will probably be thinking about this pitch here because he had Corey Patterson with the ball down in the zone. Corey was up, but was on top of it and over the ball. But this time he tries to go with the high fastball, and that kind of that evened out Corey's swing. Beforehand with the breaking ball in the dirt, Corey had a little loop in the swing, but this time the fastball, he got it level and got the job done.
Pitch up, easier to hit up. And Patterson drives home his 40th run of the year. And now Todd Hundley will try to cap a 3-run Cub inning with a big hit himself. 3 in the 7th. The Aurelia error certainly helped the Cubs' cause here tonight. One ball, no strikes. And that one dances in, knees and inside corner. A superb Giant bullpen has had problems in this 7th inning. Zerbe and Rodriguez have given up 3 runs. One ball, 2 strikes. The Cubs with good, solid, fundamental baseball tonight. 1-2. And the inning is over. Threw the fastball by him. But 3 runs are in. 3 runs, 2 hits, 1 error, 1 left. Time to stretch in San Francisco. The Cubs with a 2-run lead now.
Joel Larson's about to go where no man has gone before.
You don't want to be late for school.
Back in time. I'm 34 years old. Now he's trapped in the past, and he's years ahead of his time.
Someday there's going to be a thing called bungee jumping. Don't do it.
Do-over, coming this fall to WGN.
Oh, sweetie, it's perfect.
That's great. It fits him really well in the shoulders. It's Italian.
Oh, Italian. Yeah, it feels Italian. Oh, yeah. No, it's good. Nice sweater.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Hey guys, what's going on? It's Italian.
Cadillac. Breakthrough. Join the Cadillac Summer Jam for this attractive offer.
And the best way to drill into that is with an 18-volt drill driver with a speed lock wood boring bit.
And the best way to drill into that is with an 18-volt drill driver with a speed lock wood boring bit.
Introducing Tool Territory. Tool experts with real-world experience. And America's best tool store, Sears. Where else?
This portion of Chicago Cubs baseball on WGN is brought to you by Tool Territory. Tool Territory, where tools rule. Only at Sears. Where else?
palm trees outside Pac Bell Park at Willie Mays Plaza. Boy, what a beautiful entryway to a beautiful ballpark, and it's turned into a great night for the Cubs. 9-7, they lead it here in the 7th inning. Flash Gordon is still on there. He'll face Kent, Bonds, and Santiago. And Jeff Kent hits a line drive to right field. Sammy, another great jump. One pitch and one man out. So again, here's Barry Bonds, his second crack at number 600. Again, out to the mound goes the home plate umpire, Jay Clem. They'll give Flash Gordon a new baseball. This will be the first time Bonds has seen Gordon in his major league career. Barry tonight 2 for 3 with 4 RBIs. Nobody wants to be the guy that gives up the milestone poke.
Well, I mean, it depends on how you look at it. I mean, you give it up, at least you know you'll be in the laurels for a long time, and the highlights.
Ask Steve Traxel and Ralph Franklin.
Well, ask them in about 50 years, and their grandkids are watching and say, hey, there's Grandpa on there. That's also a proof I played, son.
Ball 3. 3-0.
You think he's swinging here at 3-0? Yeah,
I would think so. He was 3 balls and a strike. Bonds does not swing 3-0 too much because of one statistic. It's obvious. 122 walks this season. Hasn't walked tonight, though. 3 balls and a strike. And there is ball 4 to Barry Bonds. And he's aboard in front of Santiago, who represents the game-tying run. First walk for Flash here tonight. And now we'll see how Santiago fares. Blessed with catcher speed. He's the original man for 2 if you can get him to hit the ball on the ground. In fact, he's hit 12 double plays.
Yeah, it seems like a lot of chickens out to roost right now.
Never let the superstar beat you. Santiago 1 for 3 in the game. Big series underway in Arizona. The Braves lead the Diamondbacks 3-1. Atlanta's beating Kurt Schilling tonight in a potential NLCS matchup. That Atlanta team, the more you watch them play, the more amazed you have to be at the incredible run they've been on. Atlanta is 15-3 in their last 18 games, and in those 18 games have allowed more than 3 runs twice.
Yeah, that's what you call an SOS team. Same old stuff.
No balls and a strike to Santiago.
Take away a few guys. All of it's based upon veteran leadership, a great pitching staff.
Well, they get a break. They miss Randy Johnson, who pitched the finale against the Mets. They beat Schilling today or tonight. They start beating him in the 8th inning. Now Arizona's got to find a way to win that series without Johnson or Schilling available to them, and that's been their problem all year. Johnson and Schilling are fine. Everybody else, though, is below 500.
Schilling was going for victory number 19.
They'll have to rally for him. He won't get the decision. He went 7 1/3 innings, 3 runs, 1 walk, 11 strikeouts in the game. Kevin Millwood, the forgotten man for Atlanta, was the starter. He's won 8 of his last 9 decisions over a 14-start stretch. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Santiago. Cubs leading 9-7 in the 7th. And that one driven to right field. It'll drop in front of Sosa. One disadvantage for the Giants now with Bonds on and that sore hamstring. They have to play station-to-station baseball here.
You're absolutely right, and that could affect because healthy Barry Bonds would have been from 1st to 3rd on that particular play, and now with 1 out, you know, the play is still in order, but a base hit will still not score Barry Bonds. So this is playing right to the Cubs' hands, but Dusty Baker Nah, he wouldn't dare take him out right now. No.
Not if this thing goes extra innings, which it might.
Exactly.
9-7. Tying runs are on, and Sanders a 2-run homer already tonight. Battle of the bullpens here in San Francisco in game 1. And that one caught at the top of the kneecaps. Strike one. Kerry Wood and Russ Ortiz tomorrow night. Sellout crowd, quiet at the moment. As Sanders digs in. That almost got him.
The thing about it is, when you face Barry Bonds in the bottom of the 7th, if you go 1, 2, 3, you won't have a chance of facing him in the 9th. But the more runners you put on base, the more opportunities he will have to come up in that 9th inning and turn that lineup over. Reggie Sanders looking to do a little damage here.
Driven foul down the right field line, and automatically the Cub bullpen back in action here.
Kyle Farnsworth begins to muscle up down there.
Flash Gordon still pitching for the Cubs, hopeful of staying with the Cubs, but every time he goes out, it's an audition for the other 29 major league clubs. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Again, the pitch won't be there. This time is called. You can still make trades now, even though the trading deadline has passed. Players have to clear waivers. And if that is indeed the case, then player can move from one team to the next. He has to be on another team's roster, however, by August 31st in order to qualify for postseason play, should a team be fortunate enough to be in that position. And even if a player is acquired after August 31st, they can play all the way up until the playoffs.
Right.
Line drive, left center field. That's going to drop. Bonds around third. They're going to wave him. Patterson is up. He's going to throw to the plate. Not a good idea, but no advance. It's a 1-run game, 9-8. Bonds scores. Santiago to second. Sanders his 3rd RBI of the night.
Boy, Sonny Jackson, the third base coach of the Giants, took a big gamble. And Corey Patterson knew exactly what was happening, and he came up, made a strong throw. But a limping Barry Bonds comes home. Right here, normally would not have a chance, but Corey knows who's running, and you see Barry have to taking a look back to see if he has to speed it up a little bit. It'll take him a long time to get there.
And so now Kyle Farnsworth is going to come on. The Cubs are going to make another switch as well, you'd figure. With 2 men on, 1 man in here in the Giants' 7th. Another 9-8 nail-biter here in San Francisco. And with Todd Hundley spot the last one to have hit, you figure Joe Girardi will come in and bat 9th. Farnsworth will then bat 7th. Here in inning number 7. Gordon goes an inning and a third. 3 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. 1 run allowed. The 2 men remaining are his responsibility as well. Let's see if Kyle Farnsworth can pitch himself back into a good frame of mind. He'll face Minor, Bell, and then we'll see for the Giants here in the bottom of the 7th.
Coming this fall, a father recovering from a great sadness will lead his family.
Moving where? Everwood, Colorado. That's crazy.
From its darkest moment.
That doctor who just moved here, he's your father, right?
Yeah, if you use the term father loosely.
Into the light of a new beginning.
Where's my lunch?
Lunch. I forgot to make it. Here's some cash.
I don't think they'll change a 50.
I need to prove to my wife that I can be the kind of doctor, the kind of father that she wanted me to be when
she was alive.
You quit your job, you grow this ugly-ass beard, and you move us to the middle of Nowheresville, USA. Mom would never have done this to us. You didn't know her. You were never around.
Hey, that's pretty good. What else you got?
I wish you died instead of her.
Well, I wish I did too.
I hate you.
Treat Williams and introducing Gregory Smith.
I'm making pancakes. You want some? What the hell? That's my boy.
Everwood.
Coming this fall to WGN, Chicago's WB.
It's about Will and Grace and 5 days a week. Jumping Jack, just Jack, and Karen's Killer Rack. A sweater that squirts.
What?
And a great big sneeze.
Now you're talking Japanese.
Dancing in place.
And Will.
And Grace.
Will and Grace and you. Coming this fall to WGN.
This week on WGN Morning News, find out how you could win tickets to WGN Skybox to see the Rolling Stones in concert and hang out with your favorite news personalities. Just watch WGN Morning News all this week to find out how you can win.
Double switch for the Cubs. Girardi into catch. He'll hit ninth. Farnsworth to pitch. He'll bat seventh. Damon Minor is in the batter's box for San Francisco with 1 in, 2 men on, and only 1 man out. Minor is 0 for 3 in the game. And Farnsworth falls behind. That's been the most noticeable thing about how Kyle has been pitching lately. He's been falling behind hitters. Rather than say, here's my 97-mile-an-hour fastball, he's been nibbling a little too much. And that can cause some trouble. Ground ball might be 2. 6, 2, 3. Double play. Farnsworth takes care of Minor and the Giants. They get 1, and that's it. We've played 7 in San Francisco, and it's a 9-8 Cub lead.
It's about Will and Grace and 5 days a week. Jumping Jack, just Jack, and Karen's Killer Rack. Something's belly bumping bellies. Who's your daddy?
You are.
Why did Will stripping about a kitten with a whip? It's about those shoes and a skirt that moves, and about that hair.
You got moose and squirrel in there.
A sweater that squirts.
What?
Whoa! And a great big sneeze.
Now you're talking Japanese.
It's friends and fun and fashion foes and hugs and shimmies and
Told you so.
dancing in place.
And Will.
And Grace.
Will and Grace and you. 5 days a week. Coming this fall to WGN, Chicago's WB.
It's just the same old thing. I need adventure, excitement. I'm suffocating.
Okay. You can drive.
Spice things up. The Hyundai Santa Fe. V6 power, full-time 4-wheel drive, and the freedom of America's best warranty plan. The Santa Fe.
Don't even think about it.
We'll do something. We'll do something soon.
We can turn you on to loads of TV channels. We can turn you on to lightning-fast internet connections.
This would be so fun.
We can turn you on to local and long-distance phone service with all the features you're looking for. But we know there are times when you want to escape the everyday.
Hi, I'm too busy relaxing right now. Leave a message.
And we can help you do that, too. AT&T Broadband. Cable television, high-speed cable internet, digital phone service. The power of 3.
See Wrigley Field like you've never seen it before. Take an official Wrigley Field tour. Visit the Cubs clubhouse, the dugout, the playing field, and more. It's a Cubs fan's dream come true. Call 773-404-CUBS today for ticket information and tour dates.
It's a 9-8 Cub lead. Couple of changes for the Giants. We'll tell you about them momentarily. Before we get to the 8th inning, it's time to pause for station identification.
This is America's #1 sports station, WGN-TV, Chicago's WB.
Chip and Joe from Pac Bell Park. WGN News will follow us from San Francisco tonight. And J.T. Snow takes over defensively. He'll bat in the #9 spot for San Francisco. And an old friend, Tim Worrell, takes the mound for the Giants. He's Dusty Baker's 4th pitcher in the opening game of this series. Worrell leads the staff with 56 appearances, has thrown 5 scoreless innings in his last 5 outings, and at 7-1 this year is tied with Mike Remlinger of Atlanta for most wins by a National League relief pitcher.
got a very good ERA, so Morrell doing the job like his big brother used to do, Todd Worrell.
So here in the 8th, Cubs will try to protect and add to a 1-run lead. Gonzalez, Girardi, and Bellhorn. And downstairs from Worrell. I want to thank Dr. Bradley Merring here at the Patco Park Health Center. Been under the weather for a week and a half, 10 days, and he was kind enough to patch me together for the ball game tonight. Line into left field. Bonds on the run, can't get it. Were he healthy, he'd have had that. And Alex Gonzalez gallops into second with a very important 2-base hit. Well, you can get the ball elevated to the outfield here. You got a chance to beat these guys because they just can't run.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, because they're going for more for offense rather than defense here. And it was a fastball down the middle of the play from Tim Worrell, and Gonzo jumps all over it. And a healthy Barry Bonds catches this ball, but he's not healthy right now, and they'd rather have the offense than the defense out there, and rightfully so. And this is when you're down by a run, this is when it can hurt you.
See if Joe can get the bunt down. Worrell fires a strike. Cubs have 62 sacrifice bunts this year. Joe Girardi has 4 of them. You know who leads this team in sacrifice bunts?
Gonzalez?
Nope. Part-time player.
Lino?
Yes.
Okay, I was 1 for 2, so that's 500.
That's good.
I should retire.
No balls and a strike. And Joe offered Santiago from his knees. He can still do that. And it's strike 2 to Joe.
Well, he was the inventor of throwing from his knees at the request of his former traveling secretary over in San Diego, Doc Matai. So you know what? You ought to try throwing from your knees. You got a quick release, and San Diego listened. Why he listened to a traveling secretary, don't know, but it made good sense to him.
Because if you don't listen to the traveling secretary,
you don't get good rooms.
You don't get a good room. You don't find your luggage, and you get lousy tickets.
Yeah, you get the room next to the elevator.
That's it.
I know, I've had it a few times.
No balls, 2 strikes to Joe Girardi. Let's see if the bunt remains on here. It is on. And he takes a ball. 1-2 is your count. This date in baseball history. Tony Gwynn knew a thing or two about timing, didn't he? Back on this date in 1993, he picked up his 2000th career hit against Bruce Ruffin of the Colorado Rockies. So what you say? Well, 6 years later, he got number 3,000 up in Montreal.
Same day?
Same day. 2,000 and 3,000 on August 6th, 1993 and 1999. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Joe swung and missed.
Yes.
Joe will tell you that wasn't a real good at bat. So he can't advance the base runner in a 1-run game. Let's see if Bellhorn can drive him in.
You know, this is a bad attempt for your normally sound player. You see Girardi going for that slider from Tim Worrell, and yeah, he offers at it, and the body's willing. The mind's willing, but the body wasn't. Just into it.
Bellhorn scored a couple of runs. He tripled last time up, and that went back to Worrell. Looks to second. Smart play. Throws a sinker to first, and J.T. Snow digs it out. So a leadoff double, a strikeout, a comebacker, and now Bill Miller, the batter. Can't walk him because you got Sosa on deck, but Miller's been roasting hot. He's made solid contact 4 times tonight, 3 for 4, an RBI, and 2 scored.
Boy, Tim Worrell thought about going to second as you saw Bill Miller. I'm sorry, not Bill Miller, but Gonzo getting off the bag, and then, like you say, to that sinker. But you got a Gold Glove over there now in J.T. Snow.
Well, let's see who wins the battle of the big trade. Last trade made between the Cubs and Giants was Bill Miller for Tim Worrell. You ever think about that when you face a guy?
Oh, yeah. I face Sutcliffe all the time, yeah.
Well, I know you wore him out.
No, I didn't really wear him out, but, you know, I'm thinking about Sutcliffe. He was so slow, he kind of puts you to sleep.
Back to the screen, good cut. 1 ball, 1 strike. Also in this date in baseball history, amazingly, Satchel Paige, the oldest man in baseball history to throw a complete game shutout. He beat the Tigers 1-0 in 12 innings on this date. Old Satchel Paige.
Yeah, Chip, you were talking about Tony Gwynn, and Sean Dunston was telling me when Shinjo came over, he kept calling him, Sean would call him Tony Gwynn. He's like, who is Tony Gwynn? I don't know Tony Gwynn. He said, look his stats up. He saw he hit over 300 for 20 years in a row. He said, me, Tony Gwynn now.
He only wishes. What was amazing, I was watching one of the baseball broadcasts, and they said Tony Gwynn was asked how many times did his teammates come up to him in his latter years and ask him about the art of hitting. And his answer was shocking, 2-1.
You would think it would be a lot.
The answer was 0. Now, whether they were intimidated or just had their own style or didn't think that they could do what Tony Gwynn did is, but you know, if you don't pick the brain of a Greg Maddux or a Tom Glavine or a Sammy Sosa or a Tony Gwynn or a Barry Bonds even,
yeah,
you're missing the boat as a professional baseball player.
You absolutely are. You need to take advantage of all the veterans around you.
Popped up. And in foul ground, J.T. Snow puts the squeeze on it. Now this 8th inning could prove to be a big one. Cubs got a lead-off insurance double, and the Cubs then could not hit the ball out of the infield. Bell, Snow, and Lofton coming up now for the Giants.
What are you trying to do to me with this?
But I like this song.
Nah, come on, get my CD case.
Ford authorized clearance 0% for 60 months is back with cash back from $1,500 to $3,500 or 0% APR on Focus, Taurus, Explorer, F-Series, Windstar, and more. That could save you over $6,300 in interest on a 2002 Windstar. 0% on Focus, Taurus, Explorer, F-Series, Windstar, ZX2, and more. So get to your local Ford store today.
Hey, Amy, it's Jimmy. Remember me back in high school? you said I'd always be a loser, huh? You were wrong. I'm not. I just won $5, baby. I'm a winner. I'm the king of the world. I don't think that's her.
Jones is pitching an absolute gem.
Yeah, he's got great stuff tonight. Even I'm chasing his breaking ball.
And his oh no.
Is that a phone he just pulled out of his back pocket?
Well, it sure is, Tom. He must have a wireless plan where he has to use his minutes at night.
You just hate to see anyone go through something like this, especially a kid.
It's like a car wreck out there. I can't take my eyes off of it.
With VoiceStream, you can call whenever you want. Now get the most whenever minutes guaranteed. VoiceStream, global wireless by T-Mobile. Get more.
Cubs by a run heading to the bottom of the 8th inning. And Bell, Snow, and Lofton are coming up for San Francisco. Cubs had a golden chance to add to their lead in the 8th. Could not get the job done. Now Farnsworth's got to pick everybody up. He did in the 7th, getting Minor to hit into an inning-ending double play. And there's that breaking ball. Or a strike. And strike one sets the tone for Farnsworth. No matter how he gets there, he gets it, you're in trouble.
And you're right, Chip. The remark you made before you got the double play is that when you start to nibble, but when you're throwing 97, 98 miles an hour, you've got to have that mentality that you want to go right at hitters and not mess around trying to nibble here, pinpoint your control here. Go right at them, because I guarantee you'll get more respect and you'll get more outs when you want to challenge the hitters with the stuff that Kyle Farnsworth has.
I kind of wish he'd throw one to the screen every now and then during warm-ups.
Well, when you challenge your hitter, you get them looking for that fastball, and then that makes the breaking ball a lot more effective.
But if the fastball's straight, anybody's going to hit it. Bell's aboard with a tying run for J.T. Snow. Got to be careful with this guy. Snow can hit it a long way, too. 6 homers, 42 RBIs, a .249 batting average. Snow in a platoon at first base, at least for now, with Minor.
Yeah, in his last 3 games, he's 5 for 11, Chip, so he's kind of hitting the ball very good now, and you catch him at a bad time because he is very hot.
He's homered in his last 2 games, including number 100 as a Giant when he took Chris Benson deep in Pittsburgh. Ball 1 outside to JT Snow. You've got Kenny Lofton on deck. Cubs nursing a 1-run 8th inning lead at Pac Bell Park. Rob Nen getting up in the Giant bullpen. If they take the lead, you'll get Nen in the 9th. And that one too high. Ball 2. 2-0.
JT Snow, son of former LA Ram Jack Snow, football player. Of course, the LA Rams are now the St. Louis Rams.
2 balls, no strikes. Nowhere near.
Kyle's got to find some way to come back from a 3-0 deficit here as he is within 1 pitch of runners on first and second with Kenny Lofton due up.
Kyle has allowed 12 runs in his last 7 innings. And that one, a little get-me-over fastball at 91. And the home run ball has been the big problem for him. I hate to bring it up, but we're seeing guys pull him that shouldn't be pulling him.
Well, because he's not really, I don't think he's really relying too much on his fastball. Doesn't have right now the attitude. He's lacking the confidence right now, and you can see it in his mannerisms on the mound.
Ball 4. 2 men are on, none are out. As a hitter, when you see a guy like Farnsworth and you know his reputation, how much of that do you take into your at-bat, the way he walks to the mound?
Oh, yeah, you take a lot of them because you can tell if a guy really wants to be out there and how much confidence he has in his ability. It's the same way as a hitter, because as a hitter, if you're a pitcher and you see a hitter moping around, kind of unsure of himself, you say, well, this guy, he doesn't have the confidence right now. And that's what you see in Kyle Farnsworth. You go up there, you say, I'm going to make him throw me a strike because he's not getting the ball over you. Look at his last 3 or 4 ball games, and they've been very bad. You know, you're out there, you tensen up and everything. You say, I'll make him throw me a strike before I swing at it, make him get himself in trouble.
Well, this is one of those fireside chats from your pitching coach where we're glad Larry Rothschild's back is turned to the home plate camera, because I'm sure this is not a warm, fuzzy meeting. You got the game on the line here. You got a guy throwing 98 miles an hour and he can't get the ball over the plate. You got to kick him in the backside here a little bit and see how the kid responds.
But not only that, but if you're going to get beat, you better get beat with your best stuff, and that's a 97, 98 mile fastball. But if you don't have the confidence and throw it, then you've already been defeated.
Lofton 1 for 3 now. Cubs think he might try to bunt. He does bunt. He lays it down perfectly down the line. He couldn't have taken the ball and stuck it in the grass any better than that.
Chip, the thing is, the Cubs had the wheel play on where they were going for to get the guy at third base, and you see a very happy Dusty Baker. Farnsworth was supposed to break, and he had the line. You take a look, Farnsworth, he has a break towards the third base line because Miller immediately goes back because the play was at third base. They had it put on, but what they didn't take into account was Kenny Lofton is a tremendous bunter, and folks, you can't do anything about that.
If he catches it, there's nothing you do. That was just a great bunt. So don't blame Farnsworth for that. Now you got big problems. Here's Aurelia. Bases are loaded in the 8th, and there's nobody out. Fly ball ties the game.
And the heart of the lineup over. And that right there, a slider, when you need a ground ball or saw him off, that's when you got to challenge a guy and come inside. You can't be out there pitching scared, and that's what you see.
And why speed up a man's bat?
Exactly.
Breaking ball. Check swing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Maybe Kyle just doesn't have confidence in that fastball. It's been pretty straight of late. Looked like that's what Bell hit to right field, a 96-mile-an-hour fastball.
The thing is, Chip, the fastball will set the slider up. The slider is a strikeout pitch. So you set the slider up by throwing the fastball. You cannot set the fastball up by throwing the slider.
1 ball, 1 strike. Nowhere near and no place to put him. Again, the Cubs this year have had an agonizing statistic to ponder. In their 62 losses, they've led in 33 of those games. Popped it up. Back by the Cub dugout. Can anybody make a play? No. And Aurelio stays alive at 2-2. You've got Kent next, then Barry Bonds. Cubs have the lead, but the game on the bases for the Giants. 2-2. Well, you got to throw him a strike. And the Cub pen goes to work. Juan Cruz gets up. $41,991 on hand tonight. Breaking ball, he got it. And now Rich Aurelia complaining. A ball gets free from the Cub bullpen and trickles down behind the plate, and Aurelia pleads for a second chance here. But that ball came into play much later than the Aurelia swing. And I don't know if Aurelia saw it or not. He sure didn't see the baseball. He saw the one trickling behind him. But no time was called, and Aurelia's down on strikes.
Well, the thing is, we saw the ball go past it. Aurelia, probably on the corner of his eye, was able to pick that ball up. And all you see is a white, kind of a white blur, but I don't think Jay Clem, the home plate umpire, is going to call anything because time was not called.
Brian Runge can't see it. His back's to the bullpen. The home plate umpire is looking out at the mound.
Right.
Now, the other umpires might have been able to see something, but Chuck Merriweather and Ted Barrett didn't have a stop in play in mind, and Aurelia is red hot as he strikes out, and that's a very big out in this ball game. Bases loaded, one out. Farnsworth gets one man. Here's Kent.
And Chip, he got him on the breaking ball and the slider, and that's why I say the slider is a strikeout pitch. It's not a pitch to be thrown within the first couple of pitches because it's a good pitch to speed the hitter's bat up and produce a fly ball.
So this is a crazy 8th inning. Aurelia still can't believe it. He's got a point. If the umpires don't see it, nothing you can do. Kent takes a ball. 1 ball, no strikes. Jeff tonight 1 for 3 with a couple of runs scored and 9 grand slams.
And look who's on deck behind him, Barry Lamar Bonds, so nowhere to put Jeff Kent.
Ball 2. With each passing pitch, the more Kent can dial into his happy zone here. Hot shot toward third. Down. Throw to first is low. McGriff can't handle it. And Snow is going to score. The Giants have the lead. Another man coming home. And the Cubs self-implode again.
Chip, totally unbelievable. Bill Miller takes a ball to the chest and does a great job by knocking it down on the shot off the bat of Jeff Kent. Keeps it in front of him and then makes a throw. The ball did not bounce, but a bad play by Fred McGriff, not able to come up with it. Jeff Kent, look at that. He was just defenseless, but he gets up and still makes the play. And right there, just under the glove of Fred McGriff, and McGriff has got to have that.
Yeah, he's got to catch that ball. And again, defensively, it was a hot smash for Miller. He made a heck of a play to knock that ball down and keep it in front of him. And he had the presence of mind to remember that Kent was running. Cubs were happy to settle for the tie there. McGriff should have caught that ball. He didn't. The bases were cleared. 3 runs are in. And now the Cubs will intentionally walk Barry Bonds and bring in Benito Santiago. But San Francisco with 3 in the 8th off Farnsworth. They take an 11-9 lead. And when you talk about this Cub team, say what you will about the bullpen, say what you will about this team's offensive ups and downs. Job number one for Jim Hendry has got to be to improve the defensive work of this team.
Right, yes, you're absolutely right. And we see McGriff. And right here, this ball just has to be caught. It didn't even bounce. Fred with the stretch. And now Dusty Baker waving everybody home. And Kenny Lofton scores all the way from first base. And now that's going to be it for Barry Bonds.
Yeah, he did his job. 2 errors by the Cubs in the game. Barry Bonds scored 3, drove in 4, and hit his 599th home run. He was on base 4 times in 5 at-bats. That 560-plus on-base percentage will rise at the end of play tonight. So here is Santiago with 2 men on, 2 men out. Or I beg your pardon, 1 man out in this 8th inning. And there's a line drive to Bellhorn. He'll win the race to the bag. And that will erase Jeff Kent and the Giants in the 8th. But the Cubs defensively gave the Giants 3 when they should have given them 1. And now you got to beat Rob Nett in the 9th.
Chicago Cubs baseball brought to you by Southwest Airlines, bringing people together with low fares.
What?
Log on now for Southwest Airlines $39 to $99 internet specials. Purchased by August 19th.
You are now free to move about the country.
Cadillac. Breakthrough. Join the Cadillac Summer Jam for this attractive offer.
Here's to the people in the neighborhood. Here's to our heroes doing so much good.
McDonald's presents the All-American Summer. Hot off our new tastes menu is the juicy Big Grilled Hot Dog, served with all the trimmings on a toasted bun. Try one today because, like summer, it won't be around long.
Here's to the good old USA. And here's to the American way.
Real-time closed captioning is brought to you by Jiffy Lube. Jiffy Lube, Chicagoland in Northwest Indiana's favorite oil change.
Well, nothing Bruce Kim could do about that 8th inning. Farnsworth struggled with his control. And the Cubs defensively could not make a big play. Phil Miller handled a hot smash. Good job to keep the ball in front. He's ready to surrender the tie.
Right.
And his throw was good enough to catch.
Right. And Chip, the thing is, if you take a look at Fred McGriff's, normally when you're stretching, you want to point your front foot towards where the ball is coming from. Fred McGriff is stretching, but his foot is towards second base. And therefore, I mean, the ball is right there. That ball has to be caught.
They gave the error to Miller. It should have gone to McGriff. And now you got big problems. Rob Nett needs 1 save for 300 in his career, and he has been one of the premier closers in baseball again this year. This was a guy that was on the Cubs wish list a couple of years ago. And the Giants knew that and signed him up to a long-term contract. Goodwin stays in the game in left. And now Sammy down, no balls, 2 strikes.
You talk about a man throwing hard. 92-mile slider, 97, 98-mile fastball. There he hits 98 on the radar gun. And the premier closers in all of baseball, although Sammy has had pretty good numbers, biggest success against him. And right now, the Cubs just self-imploding. Boy, I think Rick Sutcliffe said he talks about the D-backs from last year didn't have the best pitching, didn't have the best hitting, but they had the best defense. And that's why they went on to win the World Series. Timely hitting, timely pitching, but great defense.
That's
you
it.
have to be able to stop the opposition.
Well, you think of Arizona, you think of Atlanta, you think of the Cardinals, you think of the teams that are in the upper echelon of their division. If you catch the ball, you're going to make your pitching a whole lot better. And if you don't give the other team extra runs in the game, but obviously your offense doesn't have to score 6 or 7 every night. You can win a lot of games, 3-1, 4-2, 5-3. When you're giving up a bevy of unearned runs, and even if you don't give up unearned runs, the extra hitters your pitching staff has to face over the long season takes its wear and tear. This season, coming into play tonight, Cubs have given up 50 unearned runs in 110 games. That's one every other day. That's not too good. Cubs are 11th in defense in the National League. Giants, as we told you, 4th. 2-2 to Sosa, and a mile-high pop-up back toward us. Santiago will give chase, but will not be able to make a play. Cubs in 62 losses, led in 33 of them. This could be number 34 unless there's a big 9th inning rally tonight against Rob Nen, who does not blow many. Only 4 blown saves for Rob Nen. Hot shot to right, and there's a start in the 9th inning. A chance for some redemption for McGriff now.
You saw the numbers Sammy had against Rob Nen, and Rob Nen getting that fastball up in the zone. Sammy reaching base, bringing the tying run to the plate. Trying to make amends for a ball he should have had.
Ground ball right side. Only one play. It's to first. Sosa to second. And there's out number 1. How difficult is it to face Nen? He's got that funky little heel kick when he starts his delivery.
Toe tap toe. What you learn in ballet. But you know, if you look at his feet, you're looking at the wrong thing, because you got to go up there and you got to see where his release point is. Even though he has a little toe tap, a little hesitation in his delivery, he is still very tough. All you want to concentrate on, Chip, is looking at the release point where the ball will come out, because that's all your concerns should be.
Here's Alou. He's got an RBI tonight. A sac fly in the 7th off Chad Zerbe, or that was scored against Chad Zerbe, actually. Gave the Cubs a brief lead. But again, they couldn't hold it in the 8th inning. Kyle Farnsworth, 3 more runs charged to him as his rough stretch continues. 1 ball, no strikes. Line center field. That'll drop for a hit. Here comes Sammy around third. The Giants will concede the run. It's an 11-10 game. So the Cubs come right back against Rob Nen.
Rob Nen going for that 300 save, and you know it's in the back of his mind. And you take a look at that little toe tap. Comes up, his leg comes down, hesitation, then comes forward. And Moises Alou was equal to the task. This ball was lined back up the middle. And now the go-ahead run comes to the plate in the form of Corey Patterson. As Alou with his 2nd hit of the night, 2nd RBI.
Tough man to double up in Patterson, although he did hit into one his first time up tonight. Corey 0 for 3 with a sac fly and his 40th RBI. Pitcher spots due up next. Now Fonseca's up for the Cubs right now. DeShields in the on-deck circle, and Patterson backing away. Wanted time, didn't get it. And he got the pitch out of the zone. 1 ball, no strikes.
The thing is, you never reach back with your hand and yell time. Anytime it's that close, you go ahead and keep both hands on the bat and then yell time. Don't put your hand back there, because if he doesn't give it to you, you still got to be ready to hit.
I can't remember a big crowd this quiet with every pitch. I mean, they really want to go crazy here tonight.
Half the crowd is left because Barry Bonds is no longer in the game.
Yeah, good portion. You're right.
But this is a game that the Giants,
they got to have it.
Yes, they need to have. They need to beat up on the teams that are below them in the race.
Well, that's a good pitch on anybody. 2-1. The count to Patterson.
What Rob Nin has started doing late in his career is getting the ball up in the zone. And that is a good thing, because when you're throwing 98 miles an hour up in the zone, a lot of hitters cannot catch up to it. When you're throwing 98 miles an hour down in the zone, a lot of guys can catch up to it. So he's kind of elevating his game, which is something that he should be doing.
Ball 3 with DeShields waiting on deck. Before we say goodnight, we'll take a peek at the scores one more time. And obviously, with playoff implications abounding in the National League West, there are some intriguing scores to talk about tonight. Here it's 11-10 Giants. Cubs threatening with 1 out in the 9th against Nen. And a bullet just foul, and that ricochets off Benny Cadejia. The Cub bullpen catcher, Juan Cruz, couldn't get over to give him enough protection, and that thing smoked him.
We saw Todd Jones make a diving stop the other day. The bullpen with Colorado, and at this time we know Juan Cruz, not a very good fielding pitcher then.
Man. That'll be a find in Kangaroo Court.
Yeah, get the sure guys down there.
Full count to Patterson. You don't think the Cubs will be running with Alou here. With 1 man out, down a run. Big lead. Not going, and the pitch smoked down into the right field corner for a base hit. Alou around second, on his way to third. No fan interference. They're going to stop Alou. Patterson, big turnaround second, and he'll stop there.
Yeah, it's a good thing they stopped Moises Alou, because he would have been dead as a doorknob at home plate. The relay from Reggie Sanders to Jeff Kent, and Corey Patterson coming up big here. Fastball, middle of the plate. He just missed a double earlier, but this time J.T. Snow coming off the bag, and a lot of times he didn't think that really that he could be able to pull Rob Nin. Normally you guard the line, you come off the bag maybe 1 step. That time J.T. Snow coming off 2 steps and being left-handed. The glove on the right side, he couldn't get back over there.
So decision time for the Giants. Left-handed bat up, first base open. You've got Alex Gonzalez in the on-deck circle. He's a right-handed batter. You've got a 1-run game here. Gonzalez with 3 game-winning hits for the Cubs.
Well, we think about Delando Shields. He is a contact hitter, and he will put the ball in play, and it looks like the Giants are going to put him on and pitch to Gonzalez, go righty against righty.
And the thought process here has to be the strikeout.
Well, the strikeout, and also it creates a force-sided home plate, so you can still throw the ball home and still get the out to save the lead. But they're looking for what you'll probably see. The corners will probably play in, because any ball hit to the corner, they'll be coming home where they're trying to start the 5 or 3 2-3 double play. Any ball up the middle, they'll start the double play up the middle.
Let's take a quick look at the scores. Mets beat Milwaukee 5-1. Mike Piazza with his 327th home run ties him with Johnny Bench for second among major league catchers. Astros beat the Marlins 2-0. Houston now just 3 games back in the National League's Central Division. Cardinals were beaten 10-1. Actually, Houston's 2 back.
Yeah, they came in 3.
Montreal beat St. Louis 10-1. Yoshi, a 7-hitter. Reds came back with 5 in the 9th, but lost in Colorado 7-6. Adam Dunn hit his 23rd home run for Cincinnati. So for the Cubs, game on the base paths. Alex Gonzalez up, bases loaded, 1 out.
Boy,
and then misses low.
This is a situation where Alex loves to be in, because he's become accustomed to it. The more you put yourself in these situations, and the more times you have success, then you can feed off of that success. And right now, Alex, 3 game-winning hits, 2 with home runs.
1 ball, no strikes. That one right down the middle. Nen's first blown save was Friday in Pittsburgh. It was his first since June 9th at Yankee Stadium. 1 ball, 1 strike to the Cubs shortstop. And he's down to his last strike. Nen lifetime against the Cubs. A .329 earned run average. 3 wins, 2 losses, and 18 saves.
Which, you know, the Cubs have had some success off Rob Nen, and going back to that '98 season, he came in the crucial game, and the Cubs scored 3 or 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th to win that ball game. And we all know what happened in '98.
Oh, he didn't miss by much. And Dusty Baker agonizing on that delivery. 2-2.
Yeah, and there's some finger pointing in the dugout is home plate umpire Jay Clem. You guys over there want to know where that pitch was.
Two and two. No place to put Gonzalez in the top of the 9th. Elsewhere in the National League, they're in extra innings. In San Diego, Phillies 4, Padres 4. Pat Burrell hit his 27th, by the way, for the Phillies tonight. Diamondbacks got 2 in the 9th. They've tied Atlanta 3-3 off John Smoltz. Pirates beat the Dodgers 3-1. Here it's 11-10 San Francisco with Joe Girardi waiting on deck, looking for redemption. Two. Did he go? Outside corner. 2 outs.
I don't know if Alex can't believe it, or he can't believe he called it a strike, and he sat there for the longest.
And now Bruce Kim over, saying, let me argue, don't throw the bat. Now he's been ejected. Can't argue balls and strikes. And Gonzalez.
Well, a player can argue balls and
Whoa,
strikes.
Bruce Kim goes down. And now Chuck Merriweather comes over with Dave Bialis and Rene Latchman to calm Alex Gonzalez down. In that argument, Alex Gonzalez threw Bruce Kim away, and Kim went tumbling to the turf, and now he's going after Jay Clem. So Gonzalez ejected, took strike 3.
Oh, and a big turn of events is now very heated Bruce Kim getting in on the action. The thing is, Alex did not even realize he had called it a strike because he waited. I bet you Bruce Kim's is saying that was just redemption from the pitch that he called the ball the time before, when he got a little heat from the Giants dugout.
So Bruce continues his discussion about cattle futures, and let's take a look at the pitch.
That slider, oh man, that's way off the plate. Oh man, I see why, Alex. That ball is way off the plate. And Alex could not believe he actually called it a strike.
So it's up to Girardi if the Cubs are to come through here in the 9th inning. Gonzalez ejected on a very low and away strike 3 call. Ball 1 high, no place to put it.
Now, the one thing you have to be proud of these Cubs is they have not given up. I mean, they have fought back all night long, been down 3 times in the ball game, but have come back. And now the chance to go ahead here.
Little ground ball to the shortstop. Aurelia's got it. Flips to Kent. The Giants survive it. 11-10 the final score. This is one that Bruce Kim will say got away from him. The bullpen could not hold a lead late. The Cubs defensively had some problems. And that generous third strike call against Alex Gonzalez certainly did not help matters either. Giants win what was a must-win game in historic fashion. Barry Bonds hits .599, and the Giants win it by 1, 11-10, with Rob Nen picking up his 300th Major League save.
Next on WGN News, the West Nile virus. It's carried by mosquitoes, and now there's a confirmed case in a human right here in Illinois. We'll have details. Plus a prostitution ring that allegedly operated in luxury buildings, and tonight there is a Chicago connection. And the surgery to separate the twins, joined at the head. A complication sends one of the babies back to the operating room. Those stories and the cool forecast. The WGN News is next.
You know how we do.
Steve Francis switched it with a little cross, brought it up in the air, looked like he...
Much less than you think.